Alright, every Call of Duty game ranked. Fuck the intro.
We're on a crunch time right here. But oh!
Why didn't it reload? I don't know how the fuck I hit that.
Let's go.
Oh my god.
Call of Duty 1 was developed in 2002. It was led by Vincent Pella, who would later become the CEO of Respawn Entertainment, a video game development studio that would create games like the Titanfall series.
Jumping out and then shooting from like the ejection pack. Like, I like that. Really...
And Apex Legends.
Be good game!
What's that? I don't know.
Over the course of the development of the game, 6 more employees would be hired, and the entire team would give Call of Duty 1 the nickname Medal of Honor Killer. The game would be built upon the same game engine that Quake 3 Arena was made on. The developers wanted more to focus on teamwork rather than a one-man army type deal that many of their competitors had been focusing on up until that point. The team had developed a type of AI pathfinding technology that they would call Conduit. This technology allowed for the AI to do things such as move behind and over obstacles while providing cover fire and do such things as flanking the enemy. While other games had done something that looked like this before, this was often scripted in other games, while Call of Duty's AI would be dynamic and constantly making decisions based on the enemy's movement. The code for the different modes in multiplayer would be intentionally coded for modders to be able to modify them for their own fun. Initially, the idea was to have the story based around one character, but this would change when an idea came from game developer Spark Unlimited. While Spark Unlimited was developing Call of Duty Finest Hour, which was the console port of Call of Duty 1, they came up with the idea of having the game be based around 3 different characters, and that's how we would end up with having 3 different stories based in 3 different parts of the world. The American campaign follows Private Martin, who is an enlisted member of the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment. We go through boot camp and get sent to Germany in order to establish a landing zone by taking down the enemy infantry. We then get sent out in an offensive war against Germany, and that we will be fighting against them in Bavaria in order to rescue Captain Price and Major Ingram. We find that Ingram had been moved away to a more secure location for interrogation, and from here we fight in the Battle of the Bulge. In the British campaign, we follow Sergeant Jack Evans as we take part in Operation Tonga. We are led by Captain Price as we fight Germans at the Pegasus Bridge. We then are tasked in a sabotage mission at the Eder Dam by destroying anti-aircraft guns. We then escape by shooting down dive bombers trying to attack us. We then board the German ship Tirpitz, which is currently stationed in Tromsø, Norway. We do this by pretending to be German military. After that, we disable the ship's defenses and give signal to the Royal Air Force to attack. After we get back to German land, we assist in an allied assault against a local city and destroy the enemy's plans to launch rockets. In the Soviet campaign, we follow Corporal Alexei Ivanovich Voronin. The story begins in the Battle of Stalingrad, where we fight through the waves of German cannons and aircraft bombs and launch an airstrike that helps us push the German frontline back. Voronin is tasked with disrupting the German military internally by killing officers. Now, the rest of the story is pretty straightforward, and it's basically just conquer and defend missions. However, the game ends nicely by ending on the Soviets raising their victory banner on top of the Reichstag building.
Berlin is ours!
Now, in terms of actual gameplay, well, it's a bit of a mixed bag. The game starts off by having you go through a boot camp of sorts.
Fire 3 more rounds at your target.
It's clear that the later Call of Duty games would do a better job of doing tutorials by having more passive tutorials that show up as you play through the game. Aiming in this game is a bit awkward since the game implements reticle sway in a really weird way, by having the reticle itself move without the environment moving along with it, which is both unrealistic and really awkward to aim with. Unfortunately, this game doesn't feature a hit marker sound, but you know what this game features? Lots and lots of muzzle flash. What this game doesn't feature is fair and decent frequent checkpoints. Each checkpoint will be spaced so far apart that dying will basically set you back a whole afternoon of playing this game. In order to counteract me going insane from playing this game, I just changed my keybinds to bind the save key to my mouse and kept saving constantly like a bitch. And believe me, I did not know that you could manually save the game until about halfway into my playthrough. So I had to keep replaying the same fucking mission over and over again. At this point, I can be considered an expert in the first 3 levels of this game. Pretty soon after I started playing this game, I was already getting quite bored. The missions just start to feel the same very quickly, and the levels do start to feel like they are dragging on more than they should. With weapons like the Panzerfaust and god, could they not have chosen a better name for this fucking rifle? M1918A2 Browning automatic rifle. The game does become a lot more fun, but those weapons are few and far between, which is probably good. It's literally able to kill any enemy with one shot to the body. I will say though that sniping in this game can be quite fun, especially in open areas. Although the best strategy in this game is definitely to run and gun, as I personally believe that Call of Duty trained the AI to be best at medium range engagements. For example, when I was playing this game, I would often find myself running and gunning in short range engagements, and the enemy not even being able to react before I had shot them dead. At a certain point, the game takes a trip to Norway, and all of a sudden it's like playing GoldenEye for the N64. I distinctly remember during this point during my playthrough just kind of begging the game to end. And keep in mind, this was the first COD game I had to play for this video, so the fact that I was already completely burnt out on the game says a lot about how boring this game really can be. But eventually the game did end, and it was at this point that I realized, damn, this game has some really good songs on it. D tier. What do you want me to say? It's just not good.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
Sir, there's a German attack forming to the southeast. It looks serious.
Listen, comrades. There is an armory to the east in the basement of a house. Go there and load up on ammunition and supplies. I will stay and take care of our guest. Remember what you have learned. Good luck.
Call of Duty 2 was released on October 25th, 2005, and like its predecessor, the game's story is split between perspectives of soldiers from different armies and features 27 missions in total. The game saw a massive improvement in graphical quality and in its health system. This was done by switching from Call of Duty 1's health pack system to the regenerative health system that would become a standard in future Call of Duty installations. Heading into the first mission, it's clear how improved the game's graphics has become. I was completely floored when I saw how much better the graphics are compared to Call of Duty 1. The weapon models also feel so much better. They feel realistic, detailed, and heavy. The animations of scoping in and handling the weapon is all around smoother, and they feel like real guns. Whereas in the first game, they felt more like realistic toy guns shooting real bullets. Also, what kind of person would press yes to have the up and down mouse directions reversed? What are you, a jet pilot?
Hey, bro, watch your jet. Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet.
During the boot camp, we practiced grenade throwing by using potatoes, which is hilariously fitting considering that we are in Russia. Oh wow, look at that, they fixed the muzzle flash and the recoil, but they removed the manual save feature? I mean, it's probably for the greater good. Oh hey, look, it's Captain Pro. If you don't want to die ever, then I strongly recommend running and gunning with a PPSH. This strategy with the right person could probably take out a whole militia. When you aren't running down Germans with a machine gun, you can always take the time off to admire the beautiful graphics and the cold Russian atmosphere. If you want to get a taste of both the beautifully designed maps and the massively improved gun system, then picking up a sniper is a great way to experience both. We get another car scene later on in the game that takes place in Libya. If Call of Duty 1's car scene was like an anxiety trip, then Call of Duty 2's car scene is like tripping balls on acid while sitting in a massage chair while an earthquake is going on. This shit is seriously panic inducing. Unfortunately, you will have to wait till you're able to drive a car. Overall, the game is fun all the way through and wraps up in a beautiful way. There really isn't that much else to say about it. A tier.
But it's really not a huge part of the game, so it doesn't really add or detract that much overall. The biggest thing you'll notice is that the graphics have improved drastically. Treyarch really stepped in and upped the presentation. You're going to see some of the best foliage that you've ever seen in the world.
Call Call of Duty 3 was a console exclusive installation of the series, and if it isn't obvious from the box art, the game looks like fucking shit. Like, what the actual fuck am I looking at here? Considering that this was a console exclusive and that I decided not to review other console exclusive releases like Call of Duty the Big Red one, I was originally planning on not reviewing this game, but right before skipping over the game, I decided that I would check it out and see if there was anything worth having a look at. The short answer is absolutely fucking not. This game is probably one of the worst looking COD games in the entire series. The colossal downgrade in quality compared to Call of Duty 2 is so jarring that it immediately sets this game up to be an absolute slam fall. I literally could not even be bothered to play halfway through the first level. I'll say one good thing about it. It features the first quick time event in Call of Duty history. Yeah, that's all I got. Fuck you too. Is what I would have said if I didn't go back while editing this video and decide to actually give this game a shot. As I had originally written this part about the PS2 version, as it was the only decently stable version of this game that I could get my hands on. Every Xbox 360 version of the game I could get my hands on would have graphical bugs, causing grass textures to stretch into infinity and clutter my screen. However, I decided that this would only be a small problem, as only a few missions are mainly taking place in grassier terrain. The PS2 version is laggy as shit and blurry as fuck, and the PS3 version was only better by at least having decent graphics, but also suffered from abysmal FPS drops. So the Xbox 360 version was as close as I was going to get to actually writing a review for this game, as much as I didn't want to. So let's take a look. Was I wrong to skip over this game originally? The Training Grounds is still plagued with the issues that early Call of Duty games had, of just being flat out boring and not much more than a glorified display of the controls of the game. The Call of Duty Training Ground tutorials were cute for a game or two, but by the third time, it does become kind of a slog, and unfortunately, it would take some time before Call of Duty games really figure out how to make tutorials intuitive. One of this game's biggest problems is immediately apparent: the horrendous depth of field effects, causing what you're aiming at to turn into a blurry mess, and only sometimes does a good job of actually unblurring what you're directly aiming at. I love how they use black bars for certain cutscenes like the shit is fucking cinema. Although I will say that the game designers were clearly influenced by more movie-like elements, since a lot of the shot compositions in these cutscenes are very well done with no jump cuts. Looking at you, Life is Strange.
Max, Rachel not only gave great headshots, she gave great head. Especially after I dug her body up.
So, did you get a chance to check out the movie booty on my flash drive?
Movie booty. Movie booty. What the fuck?
Also, the game has really terrible audio mixing, as it was probably mixed for the shitty TV speakers at the time. Playing this on good studio grade headphones, it's clear just how dull and flat the sound is. And often the sounds of war will be so quiet, it's really jarring and unnatural to listen to.
Oh, guys, this isn't funny!
Especially compared to how well the audio mixing was done in Call of Duty 2. Like, take a look at this clip, for example. In this clip, a tank explodes as it gets bombed, and we go flying off it. What would you think that moment would sound like? Something like that, right? Alright, now, let's take a look at how Call of Duty 3 does it. Run and gunning is still very much alive and a good strategy in this game. However, playing this game with a controller does nerf the fast movement opportunities of the first two Call of Duty games. The MP40 is your most reliable method of taking down enemies, as ammo is generally in abundance and the magazine size is solid. However, an interesting second place is a gun that should have no right to be as good as it is. When scavenging through the enemy weaponry, you can find a weapon called the FG-42. It's chambered in 7.92 by 57mm and has a 20 round capacity, which is a high caliber for something that fires this rapidly. And this causes it to have higher recoil than your grandma with Parkinson's shooting a 9mm. This results in a gun that has too high recoil to reliably control, too small of a magazine to spray reliably, a sight that is barely functionable to hit anything, and a weapon model that takes up way too much screen space. All in all, a horrible weapon in action. However, in the second mission, after clearing out a house for enemies, We can find a scoped variant of this weapon that somehow against all odds manages to crush any other weapon in most instances. Firing this weapon in full auto really showcases how laughably high the recoil is. The scope is horrendous to aim with because of the holy fog applied to everything when aiming. However, when the stars align and the scope unblurs properly, this thing is unstoppable and makes long-range engagements a breeze. No more calling in full-on airstrikes to take out some corner-sitting MG42 cuck. Just put a single bullet from this metallized representation of destruction itself into the man's pinky finger and he'll be out before he can say,
I'm gonna use this video to
Shop it all D.
Good luck finding ammo for it though, as for some godforsaken reason, Treyarch in their infinite wisdom decided that you can't pick up ammo for the scoped FG42 from non-scoped FG42s on the ground, even though they are literally the same weapon with the same magazine and ammunition. This goes for all of the scoped weapons in the game, by the way, probably because Treyarch couldn't stop laughing while coding this game, so they accidentally applied the game rule to all weapons. The cutscene for the third mission honestly had me impressed about the face animations. Every Call of Duty game, the animations just got better and better. It's unfortunate that these well-created cutscenes are locked behind the game's terribly outdated rendering technology. Another reason why I'd want to review this game if it ever got a proper PC remaster. The car driving mission is excellently handled and honestly had me floored considering it would be a while before you would have driving freedom like this in a Call of Duty game again. The controls feel great and responsive and the level plays out at a good pace. For being such a chaotic mission, it's also really manageable and dying isn't really a big deal as the mission is dynamic enough where replaying it doesn't feel repetitive. Another nice touch is that the game implements the right amount of uncontrollability to the mission, as the car can get hit and moved around by the explosions nearby, as well as steering too quick can cause the car to spin out of control and really make you focus on correcting yourself in order to continue driving. The minimap in the bottom left features red dots to indicate enemies. This feature honestly just made it feel like I was playing one of the first GTA games.
Sometimes I like to smoke down here.
Especially when I figured out that you can press the right joystick to go third person. And now it's truly like driving an insurgent around with your friends on GTA Online. When I first saw the car at the beginning of the mission, I was truly expecting another scripted path driving event like in Call of Duty 2. But having my expectations completely blown was a nice surprise in a game that I otherwise had barely any hope for. This mission also suits the controller the best.
The back is a soap dish.
As even I would admit that driving is always most fun with a controller rather than the stiff feeling of using any directional keys on a keyboard. The castle in the fifth mission is beautifully designed and lit and is one of the best constructed maps in Call of Duty so far. The way it twists and turns and plays with different angles is all really well done. Finally, rowing in Call of Duty. In all honesty, this part isn't great, as how you're supposed to row is only kind of half explained, and getting the motion quite right could for many take a death before really understanding how to do it perfectly. Getting to finally use the MG42 after having spent so much time trying to take out MG42 gunners the entire game is a pretty awesome feeling. The Call of Duty series' first RPG/Panzerschreck shows up around this time. It's a bit of an underwhelming experience, but a welcome one at that. Also, this is a public service announcement. Corporal Keith is a bitch-ass motherfucker. During a quick time event where we have to defend ourselves in a standoff consisting of pushing another man using a rifle for the fourth time, we fall off the side of a gas tank and we have to painstakingly get ourselves back up from hanging off the edge, nearly dying by fall damage, only to find out that Corporal Keith was sitting there for the entire thing just watching. Absolute cuckery masterclass.
That's failing. When? Please surgery.
We get another high-action driving scene that shows that Treyarch tweaked the gravity for the driving scenes just right in order to maximize the fun factor, as the ability to jump high in the air with full maneuverability is a feature that we wouldn't get for a while in the Call of Duty series. The trench gun, surprisingly, is pretty good in the trenches. I know, man discovers colors for the first time, I get it.
Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
I think there's someone hanging.
Compared to most shotguns in modern video games, it has that old school World War II shotgun feel where each shot is like an explosion going off. It's quite unrealistic, but it's really fun. Around this point, the game gets padded with long missions with checkpoints that are spaced far apart and really random difficulty spikes in terms of things like enemy respawn time and enemy grouping. I didn't really take that much notes here on out because the game really tries to pad its runtime and the combat really falls off a cliff in terms of how dynamic it is. The worst part is that the missions also start to lack any satisfying win or conclusion. You'll fight hard through a 20-minute bullshit mission and all you'll get is a
Alright, good work.
Also, using a crowbar to remove planks makes no fucking sense. I literally have 6 grenades that I'll never use, capable of flattening a small rural town in China.
Keep it up and that up.
The fuck am I doing with this long ass piece of metal while my whole squad has to wait for me to be a carpenter for 30 seconds? Rating this game in a tier list format is genuinely difficult. The first half of the game is filled with fantastic ideas and great execution, but the second half is nothing but untrimmed fat and rushed execution of padded content. While I admire the qualities that Call of Duty 3 brings, if what I just said was the basis for my ranking, then the game would feel right at home in D tier. But unfortunately, due to how bad the second half of the game is, I'm never going to replay it, and wouldn't recommend most people play it either. If the game got a genuinely good PC remaster, then it will probably land in C tier. However, at the current state it's in, it's an F tier. And yes, I was within my damn fucking right to skip over this fucking shit ass game. Call of Duty 4 Reflex Edition. Call of Duty 4 aka Modern Warfare 1 was produced over the course of 2 years and released in 2007. Immediately it's clear that Infinity Ward had envisioned something greater than another World War II shooter, because this time we're in the future. Even just launching into the main menu lets you know that you're in for a royal load of ass beating.
50,000 people. Now it's a ghost town.
It seems that Infinity Ward saw what Treyarch did with Call of Duty 3 and had a it's now or never moment and decided to clean up the stinking pile of dog shit that Treyarch had left behind. It's weird playing this game right after Call of Duty 3 since graphically and technically they are light years apart. Already by the second we enter the first level, it's clear that this game has aged beautifully and the graphics still look impressive. Mechanically, the game feels very different as well. For example, for the first time in Call of Duty history, we're able to sprint. The weapons in this game are the best feeling so far out of all of the Call of Duty games. With a new and improved enemy AI, run and gunning as a strategy is pretty much dead, and now the majority of combat is done at short to medium ranges while utilizing the objects in area for cover. Oh hey look, a helicopter crashing scene. Can you believe it? Oh, and of course Captain Price is here. Captain Price adds a lot of camaraderie to the missions and helps the missions by kind of being a unifying unit that all the characters you interact with respect. Story-wise, the game is quite plain. I'm not going to go over it much because it's a lot of military gobbledygook and isn't really what makes Modern Warfare 1 a good game. What makes Modern Warfare 1 a good game is more about the characters and the overall world building than any type of overarching story. That aspect comes in the later installations past this point, especially with the Black Ops series. For example, one of the examples at how Modern Warfare 1 was able to make a great game without any sort of Shakespearean level story is the AC-130 mission in this game. This mission is just fucking badass to play through. It perfectly nails the look and feel of real life AC-130 killings, and it's honestly just a blast to play through. Stealth missions in this game and basically all other Modern Warfare games are easily the best parts of this game. A lot of the reason why these stealth missions are so good is how the game uses sound and radio comms to both inform the player of what the rest of Price's team is doing, but this also builds suspension as you move through the mission.
Remember, we want all aside alive. It's no good to us dead. Let's go.
The ladder missions are very fun in this game too, and small things like the enemies dropping grenades sometimes when they die is a really cool addition that is guaranteed to have costed some people their controllers. Later in the game we get a car chase scene, and this mission almost feels like a callback to Call of Duty 1. It's clear that a lot of teams' experience in making the car chase scene in Call of Duty 1 came into good use when they started making Modern Warfare 1. The map and feel of the missions has a lot of similarities to the first installation of the series, and just like Call of Duty 2, the game wraps up beautifully. Easy S tier.
I don't like this game, the zombie pume in a corner and he dead and he cool, DNT do anything, wouldn't recommend this game to anyone that were a good.
Especialis incites 28 for a 17 YEA roll game and he could veuz det to get something better like Yakuza 0.
Call of Duty 5 World at War was released in 2008 and was developed by Treyarch, whose last Call of Duty installation was Call of Duty 3 and was released on every console under the sun. Like seriously, they released this game on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Mac and Windows, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii, and Xbox 360. Now after having played through a bunch of World War II installations of Call of Duty and then getting a breath of fresh modern air by playing Modern Warfare 1, I was really not looking forward to going back to a World War II type shooter. Luckily, Treyarch was on a redemption arc after their total failure of Call of Duty 3 and was hoping to prove that they could in fact do a good job when it came to making FPS games. And this time they actually did. First of all, the intro cutscene to the first level goes crazy hard.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
After that, we probably get one of the gnarliest introduction to any Call of Duty game ever.
Don't tell him a fucking thing. みんなこうなのか? 誰とも殺せ!
Go to hell.
Miller, you're okay.
As we launch into combat, it's clear that Treyarch had made changes to the weapon feel from Modern Warfare 1, and unfortunately, they do not feel nearly as good as they did in that game. Modern Warfare 1's weapons had a smooth, weighty, and snappy feeling, but World at War feels a bit more sloppy and just not as fun to use. A good thing about this game though is that it uses the element of surprise the most out of any Call of Duty game so far, and it's very well implemented. If I can describe this game in one word, then it would probably be bombastic. Things are very loud, each explosion feels like an airstrike, and each airstrike feels like a mini nuke. Also, the soundtrack in this game has some really fantastic tracks.
Later, when Call of Duty World at War was on the blocks, Brian was now audio director over at Treyarch, so he called me back. The guys really wanted to change the direction of the World War II shooter, having just come off, Activision having just come off the great success of Modern Warfare. There was a lot of criticism. Why are you guys doing another World War II shooter? So they brought me in to kind of spice things up. We knew that because of our previous working relationship that we could try things and push the boundaries. And so we did, and the score was very successful.
Probably the most important thing that happens in this game is Reznov's introduction, which is just so perfect that I feel like it's best to just show it to you in whole.
Do what I say, and we can avenge this massacre. My injured hand means I can no longer aim, but you will do it for me. Take my rifle and watch the road. Mumodak in the car is General Heinrich Amsel, architect of Stalingrad's misery. He is responsible for the cold-blooded murder of men, women, and children. Not just here, but throughout the motherland. For 3 days, I have hunted him. For 3 days, luck alone has saved his wretched life. Sniping your enemy is like hunting any other animal. Fire at the wrong moment and your chance will be forever lost. Patience. If we reveal our position to Amsel's men, this fountain will be our grave. Now, load your rifle, but hold your fire. Wait until the bombers are directly overhead. The sound of the engines will drown out your shot. Ready? Shoot now! The reactions could be quick, but the job is done. This place, once echoed with conversations of friends and lovers, no longer. Mark my words, comrade. One day things will change. We will take the fight to their land, to their people, to their blood. This way.
Thankfully, the walking animations did get better with time. From here, the game did hit a bit of a dud for me though. One problem I often found in this game is that certain sections would be incredibly difficult, and the game would only allow for automatic saves that would be placed really early in the combat or at really inconvenient places. This caused me to have to replay certain parts at least over 8 times before I would actually be able to progress. Now, this isn't really an intentional problem with the game. This is more likely a problem with bad game testing. But whether it was because of bad play testing or the developers not really having their brains screwed on, it still severely degraded my experience of the game from here on out. By the time I'd finished this game, I already knew that this was the most rage-inducing Call of Duty game I've ever played. Luckily, after meeting Reznov though, we get access to one of my favorite weapons in any Call of Duty campaign ever, and that is the PTRS-41, which is simply just a fucking awesome weapon. It's a semi-automatic sniper rifle like no other.
Nice.
Later on, we get a pretty sick mission where we get to fly in a weaponized airplane while trying to take down ships. I especially want to point out here how good the animations are for switching between the different cannons in the plane. My favorite out of all of the common weapons in this game is the Thompson, which is another weapon that was very well executed. Unfortunately, you rarely ever get ammo for it, and the weapon is left almost completely useless. The game wraps up in a okay way. I really don't have much else to say about this game, honestly.
In the midst of all the blood, the bullets, and the dead, I found that an old friend was still very much alive. Dmitry Petrenko. I saw this man cheat death, time after time at the siege of Stalingrad. As long as he lives, the heart of this army cannot be broken. He makes us all proud.
In my opinion, Call of Duty World at War was a clear downgrade from Modern Warfare 1. However, the game does have a lot of very charming qualities, and things such as the impact of characters like Reznov is not to be underplayed in a grander conversation about Call of Duty. While it doesn't reach quite high up enough in order to be considered one of the higher ranking Call of Duty games, in my opinion it's still worthy of a B tier.
From this moment on, every step we take brings us closer to our lead, closer to victory, closer to revenge.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield!
You know the shit's gonna be good when it shows you this warning when you launch the game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is a fan favorite in the COD franchise, and most fans would probably put it as their top 3 COD games of all time, and follows the rule that the second sequel of any COD series is bound to be an amazing game. Plus, out of all of the titles in the COD franchise, this game definitely had the best memes.
What the hell is with your voice? Your mom's voice! No, get the camera!
And even the phrase "you wouldn't survive a Modern Warfare 2 lobby" has become a common phrase in internet discourse when a person is not able to handle critique.
Guys, recently my grandma passed away.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Hey,
I'm wishing her luck in the gulag.
Whoa. What?
Oh, you must have never been in a COD lobby before.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was released in 2009 for PC and consoles. The 3DS would receive its own version on the same release day called Modern Warfare Mobilized. Okay, this is totally off topic, but I have to talk about this. This is just so stupid. For the 3DS version, they decided to use the box art for Modern Warfare 2, but calls the game Modern Warfare, like the first Modern Warfare game, but then uses the logo from Modern Warfare 2. Also, I'm really happy that I'm not doing console exclusive titles because goddamn, this game looks fucking boring.
Slide it over to 1, 2, 3.
But anyway, the premise of the story is pretty basic. Just chase down some crazy Russian terrorists called Makarov. However, the overarching story is not important to what makes this game great. The game starts off in a genius way by immediately putting you into the action and letting you practice basic mechanics in a military training camp. Already it's clear that Modern Warfare 2's weapon handling is a lot faster than the previous games, and I'd argue one of the fastest in the COD series. You also test your speed by running through a target course that tracks your completion time. In my opinion, this is the best way to handle a tutorial. Explain to the player the basics, give them the tools to execute the game's instructions, and make the player compete against themselves until they feel good enough to continue. The game also shows the recommended difficulty based off how quickly you completed the tutorial. Unlike the first game, you actually get credit for completing the game fast enough. Heading into the first mission, we're strapped with an AR that has a grenade launcher attached to it. Now, calling this a grenade launcher is a huge misrepresentation of what this thing really is. This thing is a grenade tank. This thing doesn't even act like it's shooting grenades, more like it's shooting really heavy mini missiles. Enemies in this game are a lot harder to deal with. Much of the reason for that is that the AI in this game is able to hold corners and tighter angles than before, and therefore combat often lasts longer as you have to spend more time waiting for enemies to pop out. While this did cause frustration in my playthrough, it's a benefit to the overall fun of the game, and this increase in difficulty did not get in the way of my enjoyment of the game. In fact, many times throughout this playthrough, I just couldn't believe how much fun this game is. It's like you know you're strapped in for a good mission when the first thing you see is snow, mountains, and a silenced weapon. Like, bro, you're telling me that in one mission you go from snow climbing to Arctic stealth missions to drive-by shooting off a snowmobile, then wrap it all up in a sick ski jump? Now, of course, I can't talk about this game without mentioning the No Russian mission. To me, talking about this mission is kind of like doing a Beatles album review. Everything that can be said about it has been said. But I will say that still, to this day, this mission has some serious balls of steel. It's incredible that a mission like this was actually made at some point in time. Now, the favela mission that takes place after the Arctic mission is a huge letdown compared to the quality of the previous mission. However, the Burger Town mission that comes after does make up a lot for the previous mission, as it's probably one of the most patriotic missions that has been put into any Call of Duty game ever, to fight the Russians and protect Burger Town. Compared to Call of Duty's previous titles, in my opinion, this game's music is especially weak. Compared to what came before it and what would come after, The game lacks a clear identity other than generic FPS music. Also, can we talk about how shit the ACOG is in this game? I mean, come on, just look at that. The same guy who designed the ACOG side was probably also the one who decided to call the sawed-off shotgun the Ranger. Close quarter combat is where Modern Warfare 2 really hits the stride and executes in flawless colors. The same thing goes for a lot of the visuals in this game. Washington DC looks incredible and hasn't aged all since the game's release. While I don't want to get too much into the story here, since I'd argue it's fairly straightforward, I will give props to the way the game plays with the timeline by having the player play through multiple perspectives of the same timeline of events, by going back in time and changing who the player is playing as. Space! After the Russians send a nuclear missile on the US, we walk through Washington DC after it has been hit, and the atmosphere and visuals in this game is so beautifully executed. It's around this time in the game where you start to realize just how real the characters you surround yourself with in this game feel when you start to treat them as such, especially watching them having to compensate for the lack of available resources by doing things like lighting flares to light up the area around them. Speaking of flares, at the end of the level we signal to the US Army that we have regained control over the area by our teammate lighting up 2 green flares. This part is so beautiful in and of itself that it could be in a movie.
Moscow. Not soon enough, man. But I know we're gonna burn it down when we get there.
When the time is right, Corporal. When the time is right.
Modern Warfare 2 is a very detailed game, and one especially funny example of this is the download speed in the house mission that comes after the nuclear fallout mission. The big trader scene has been spoiled to me via memes, but trying to put that aside that I know that it would happen, it's still so well executed and feels deserved because of how much fighting you have done up until now. This emotional climax is followed up by an incredible car chase scene that is the best one yet in the COD series. This mission takes place in the middle of a desert, and so many parts of this mission is cool to me, especially the rappel stealth skill. Unfortunately, the realism really falls off here for a bit as you start shooting people in an underground cave where there should be no reason why the other enemies can't hear you or see you. We escape the enemy compound by a boat and just, wow, this part is just incredible.
Take care of open areas!
The game finishes off in probably one of the most anxiety-inducing climactic endings in Call of Duty history. The game wraps up with this incredibly cool credit scene that even as a kid I remember watching all the way through. Something I hadn't even done with some of my favorite movies. The overarching gameplay and certain parts of the story showcases exactly what made Call of Duty such a beloved franchise and remains breathtaking to this day. Easy S tier. Okay, I just want to mention quickly here that technically the next game in the series is Black Ops 1, but since Modern Warfare 3 releases in the middle of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, and that Black Ops 2 does a lot of callbacks to the things we learned in Black Ops 1, for the sake of this video I'm going to cover Modern Warfare 3 first before heading into the Black Ops series. God damn, this game has a sick ass cover. I haven't even gotten to the main menu and I'm already amazed by the intro cutscene that plays when you launch the game.
Okay, game on.
Modern Warfare 3 was released in 2011, 2 years after the previous title in the series, sometime between the release of Black Ops 1 and the development start of Modern Warfare 3. The Call of Duty's 2 original co-founders had left the game studio to form Respawn Entertainment. However, the game would get a helping hand from Sledgehammer Games, who would step in for the development of the game. The game follows the same pack of guys as in Modern Warfare 2, but this time with a new addition, Yuri, who meets Captain Price after helping them take care of the wounded Soap, who we played as in the last game. Modern Warfare 3 starts off incredibly strong by putting us right where we left off in Modern Warfare 2. Playing through the first mission, it's clear that Modern Warfare 3 doesn't quite nail the gameplay feel that Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 would have, but is more aligned with what you might expect after jumping from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3. The helicopter mission that takes place later in the mission is really well executed and shows how chopper gunner missions can be more than just tracing targets in open areas. It perfectly utilizes tall buildings and skyscrapers in order to make chopper missions feel claustrophobic and intense instead of freeing and relaxing. In the second mission, we hide underwater, and this to me would be a way better opening for the game for the first level. It does kind of make me wish that the story had been shifted so that the game could have started on this mission, since it far better executes on the look and the feel of the rest of the game. The game spends a good amount of time really establishing the mood, and the whole experience feels dark, tactile, and intriguing.
Clear. Power down, here we go. Target approaching. Oscar 2, 8 o'clock.
This game easily has the best sound design so far in the game's franchise, and would stay that way at least up until some of the later Black Ops games. I really love the thunderous and crisp sound that this game has. Guns like the Deagle sound especially awesome in this game. Clearing out the submarine of enemies is really where this game gets for the first time to show off its new features. The experience feels extremely tactical and the tone is reinforced very well. Going from quiet to loud, the boat scene that happens later on is just such a blast to play through also. In terms of weapon feel in this game, the weapons here feel heavy and impactful. Take a weapon like the AK-47 for example.
Here are my initial reactions with each and every weapon that they changed now. Let's hear the new sounds.
In this game it sounds heavier, but also hollower. The third mission, however, to me is a really big weak point. While the weapons you are offered in this level are great, the angles and the enemy placements do not feel engaging to attack. Luckily, the game really picks up during the last part of the mission where we get to control a mini tank unit of sorts. This part really showcases the blueprints of what controllable weaponized vehicles would become in the later games like Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And the next mission is really where Modern Warfare 3 starts coming into its own. We play as a bodyguard for the Russian president while he discusses plans for peace in the Western world. During this mission, the plane is hijacked, and from here on out, the mission is really well done. The combat is very dynamic and offers a good variety of weapons where you really get to choose your way of engagements. The peeking angles are also very well done for a plane level. Later on, we have to fight our way to the president who is hurt from the plane crash, and the tone of this level is perfectly done. The way the level blends the more authoritative representation of men in suits fighting against these kind of Arctic militiamen is a really cool way to set the tone for this level. We then get the proper introduction for the real main character of this game.
know who I am?
Yes.
Then you know what I want.
You're insane.
Russia will take all of Europe, even if it must stand upon a pile of ashes. I want the launch codes, Mr. President.
You'll never get them.
Every man has his weakness. Find the girl.
Just absolute perfection. The next mission features us sneaking through Urzistan's jungles with Captain Price and Soap in order to retrieve Makarov's biochemical missiles. The way that the level starts is just an awesome introduction to the stealthy beginnings of Mission 4.
I'll pick you up in 1 hour.
The factory isn't far from here. Makarov's cargo should be there. Keep it silent. Let's move.
Maintain a low profile. Militias all over this area.
A lot of interesting angles and dynamic engagements, but I will say it does start to feel a bit one-note by the end, as the enemy combatants start piling on top of each other and the angles of attack become a lot less interesting. By the end of the mission, the cargo manages to escape, and in the next mission we pursue it into enemy territory, and this so far is probably my favorite stealth mission in Call of Duty.
Bravo 9, you're two behind the door. Copy. Targets down the alley, 10 meters. Take them down. Alley clear.
The atmosphere during this mission is perfect, and the constant sound of silent shots and bodies falling while the radio keeps going off that an enemy has been taken down. It's just a perfect way to build up a proper stealth mission. This level also perfectly executes how to overwhelm a player with enemies without making it feel claustrophobic to the point where the player feels discouraged to engage. Later on in the mission, we pursue the enemies by driving after a train that they have occupied. This part is hard to put into words just how flawlessly it works even all these years later. The most impressive part for me right here is just the sound design and how crisp and loud and just, oh, sounds so good. By fighting our way out of the underground, we meet up with our squad and the police in order to create a blockade for the cargo that's currently being driven around London that contains explosives. Looking around, we can see that the developers clearly spent a lot of time making sure that the civilians standing around actually looked somewhat realistic, and for its time, it really creates a realistic sensation of there being actual bystanders to what we're experiencing. Not long after, we're taken to probably what is the most gruesome scene in Call of Duty aside from No Russian. This scene is just so horrible to watch that it's almost laughable at how gruesome it is. Price decides to go with his group into Somalia in order to interrogate Makarov's chemical weapons dealer. We get a pretty well executed chopper attack. It's high action and moves fast enough to make it not feel like you're just clicking heads. We also get our first time with the Desert Eagle in this mission, and while it does sound good, although not as good as Modern Warfare 2.
I love you.
The Deagle in Modern Warfare 3 fucking sucks. It feels weak as hell, the recoil feels slow and annoying, the iron sights are like aiming with fucking Minecraft dirt blocks. Later on we see a fucking awesome interrogation scene where we can really see that Price is losing patience with Makarov's men.
Gas masks on. Look familiar.
No, please!
Where's Makarov? Tell me and it's yours.
Our contact with the man named Volk. We never met Makarov.
Where's this Volk?
Paris! He oversaw the delivery in Paris!
Right then. This is for the boys at Hereford.
Nikolai, we're all be broke. We have what we need. Ready for exfil.
Almost there. The LZ looks clear, but that sandstorm is moving in.
I also want to take note here of one of my favorite moments in this game. Later in the mission, a sandstorm hits our location as a rescue helicopter crashes. This lies the desert town in a thick, orange, sandy fog, and just the look and feel of this whole part of the mission is just perfectly executed.
Echo team, what's your status?
We've located Nikolai's chopper. It's a...
With the intel from Makarov's chemical weapons dealer, GIGN engages in Paris in order to try and find Volk, Makarov's bomb maker. Paris is portrayed beautifully in Modern Warfare 3 and has a perfect balance between depicting the beautiful city like it was and the destruction that has happened now. The enemy uniforms as well look stunning and very World War II inspired. The mission in itself is a standard Call of Duty mission, but targeting enemies with the AC-130 by throwing purple smoke grenades is a pretty sick execution of a kind of one-dimensional game mechanic. The sewer system part of this mission is perfectly executed and it manages to look both haunting and beautiful at the same time. The lighting and the reflections look flawless and uses the element of surprise very well when introducing Volk to the player.
How many bodies do you think are buried down here? Don't know. Let's make sure we don't join them.
While I was disappointed by the player not being able to drive the van that you use to pursue Volk, the tank that appears during the car chase scene is terrifying, as the tank is chasing after you and its sheer size is constantly reflected by the use of perspective during the car chase scene. Crashing into Volk's car is an awesome feeling, especially after having gone through such a chaotic chase.
Vehicle is down! Get out! Come here, asshole. This is Metal 01, jackpot. Folks secure. Archer, you son of a bitch.
Bring him in for interrogation. We'll extract any intel he has on Makarov.
The AC-130 part of the mission is probably my favorite implementation of AC-130 in any Call of Duty game ever. Everything here is just so perfectly executed. The deadpan delivery of the pilot taking down enemies. The co-pilot giving us clearances for what we can shoot and not shoot.
Careful, we're not cleared to fire on any buildings.
There we go.
Good shot.
The range of weapons, which all feels super satisfying to use.
Building to the northwest. Request permission to engage.
Copy, stand by.
Gun ready!
Affirmative, Warhammer. You are cleared to fire on any buildings with enemy personnel.
Crew, you're cleared to engage the corner building.
Hit that building.
The body cam footage that appears of the player on the ground, the incredible tense feeling of having a missile warning and not being able to see where the missile is and if you're going to survive, only praying that the flares will be able to guide the missile away, and how it transitions back into the main player of the mission. I also appreciate, unlike most of the upcoming COD games, this AC-130 mission actually lasts a good amount of time, and guess what, you get to do it twice. The rest of the mission plays out like any normal Call of Duty mission, but I have to say, the Eiffel Tower collapsing as helicopters fly by is just such a gorgeous scene. In the next mission, we follow Makarov into Prague, where him and his men are holding a meeting. I don't really have much to say about this mission, pretty average stuff. In the next mission, we take sniper position on Makarov's meeting and aid Price in infiltrating this meeting. The mission takes a turn when we find our teammate Kamar strapped to a self-destructing bomb, before we are blown up by Makarov, who had predicted that we would be sniping from this building.
Price, get out of there!
Yuri, my friend. You never should have come here.
What the hell's he talking about? Get out now!
Before Makarov explodes the building, he refers to us, Yuri, as his friend, and how we never should have come here. Soap seems to have taken notice of this, but is too injured to think about it. Soap's last words would be dedicated to letting Price know about what Makarov had told them.
Not now, son. Just rest. Get a medic! Come on. Price. No. Makarov knows. Oh, no! Soap! No! Soap! You have to go now! Get off me! I'm sorry.
The following segment is best for me to show you in its entirety without commentary, as it's one of the greatest moments in Call of Duty history.
So trusted you. I thought I could too. So why in bloody hell does Makarov know you?
I was young and patriotic when I first met Vladimir Makarov.
Beauty, wake up. Zakhaev wouldn't want you to miss this. This deal will generate millions for our cause. Money can buy many things, even power. The road to our future begins here, my friend.
Что значит маловато? Я думал, мы договорились.
Zakhaev never forgot what we did for him that day. Our reward was power. But power corrupts.
Today, we show the world our true strength. Perhaps it will give you some as well. Is everything ready? Do it.
Thousands of souls extinguished by the push of a button.
Understand, Yuri. This is only the beginning.
This wasn't war. It was madness.
I know what you have done, Yuri. I know what you have told them. My friend, my ally, my betrayer. What happens here today will change the world forever. Nothing can stop this. Not even you.
Пока не докурить сигарету. Я уже постараюсь через несколько часов.
Remember, no rushing.
I was a soldier of Russia, not a taker of innocent lives. But in his eyes, this marked me as the enemy.
Эй, у нас здесь один выживший!
You bought yourself some time. For now.
In the next mission, we infiltrate a castle in Prague in order to try and learn about Makarov's location. While there isn't much to say about this level in particular, the aesthetic of the level is really beautifully executed, and the level is gorgeously detailed and enriched. The level ends in a pretty sick way as well. We then head to Prague in order to find the vice president's daughter, since if Makarov's men find her, the vice president will be convinced to give over the nuclear launch codes. The mission is pretty routine for COD standards. It features some pretty cool weapons of destruction and some cool destruction physics. We are unable to secure the vice president's daughter and therefore try to cut ahead of Makarov's plans. This mission is a pretty basic COD mission, but still brought up a few notches with beautiful level design and a pretty intense ending.
Lord, jackpot! The president is secure.
Solid copy. Gather your team and proceed to the RV.
She's alive. What the hell?
Who's this?
Prisoner 627. I'm coming for you, Makarov.
Haven't you heard, Price? They say the war is over.
My war ends with you.
Like it ended for Captain McTavish? Tell me, Price, how long did it take him to die? I've destroyed your world piece by piece. It's only a matter of time until I find you.
You won't have to look far.
Now the war may be over, but Price's war is not. The next level is a definite step up from the previous two levels. Watching Price and Yuri fight side by side knowing their backstories is honestly beautiful. The level is super action packed and tough to get through and really makes you fight to the last minute. Later in the mission, Yuri gets impaled by a metal rod after a helicopter shoots the top part of the building down. And we can hear that Price wants to rescue Yuri, but Yuri wants revenge from Makarov. With this motivation in mind, it makes what happens next so much more climactic.
He's going for the chopper, run!
While Modern Warfare 3 has one of the greatest endings in any Call of Duty game ever and shines brightly in many areas, especially sound design and stealth missions, the game is a lot more lackluster than the 2 games that came before it, and especially the game that will come after. And while I do understand the love that many have for this game, this makes me unable to give this game a higher rating than a very well deserved B tier.
Pasta Fest, the musical legend Goldie.
Looking forward to Black Ops?
I am, mate, yeah. After getting wiped out by an 8-year-old from Texas every time, I need something different now.
Yeah, really?
So, I mean, Goldicus 999, guys, if you're out there.
Yeah, that's your game.
That's me, yeah, with a K. Yeah, so
with a K. So we'll add you up and try and...
Yeah, try and hit me up, man. Yeah, oh, God, yeah. I was out there, I was playing with Chance, one of the game developers last year. Obviously another company, but those guys are ridiculous. I just play for fun now. Good banter.
Yeah. So, what's your best kill streak?
God damn! Wait, go down! I go, baby! It's not even that good!
But yeah, back to me, Static Surge.
Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was released in 2010 and was released during Modern Warfare 3's infancy stage in development. It was released on every console under the sun and now featured a brand new story set during the 1960s. It features us playing as our golden boy Alex Mason, along with fan favorite Frank Woods. Now, I'm not going to explain much further since getting any deeper than this is already getting way ahead of myself. The game starts off with easily the coolest main menu in Call of Duty history. Not only does the interrogator speak to us as we are browsing the menu, we can also stand up and find a secret computer that we can use to enter in cheat codes or gain some lore drops.
If you're ever asking yourself, is it creepy that I'm dating this younger person?
Wake up. Wake up.
Where am I? Where's Reznov?
You will answer our questions. Do you understand?
Who the hell are you?
That's not important. What's important is who you are. What's your name?
Fuck you!
Where were you born?
Kiss my ass!
Your name is Alex Mason. You were born in Fairbanks, Alaska. In 1961, you served in a CIA assassination team known as Operation 40. Is that correct?
Yes.
Where's the broadcast station?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? Where are they broadcast?
I don't know anything about any numbers.
What about Dragovich? Do you remember him? Give us what we want, we'll guarantee your safety. Let's start at the beginning. Cuba, 1961, the Bay of Pigs. We know you were there.
The cutscene that follows as we head into the first mission is just so beautifully made. It's clear that Treyarch had a clear idea for what they wanted Black Ops 1 to look and feel.
What about the evac?
You will have transport waiting for you. Just be there.
Excellent. You got company.
Saquen los papeles. Ahora. Sal de aquí, puta capitalista. Oye, ¿de dónde tú eres? I said, where are you from?
Just be cool, Woods. Wait.
Talking to you.
Now jumping into the battlefield, the game's overall feel is a definite upgrade from how Modern Warfare 3 felt, and it's easy to see that Treyarch had their own unique way of handling the weapon feel. It's hard to describe, but playing Black Ops 1 after playing Modern Warfare 3, they feel very different. I would also say that the weapon pool in this game is way more interesting and intriguing than what you might typically find in the Modern Warfare series. And Black Ops 1 is one of the only instances in gaming where I far prefer using iron sights over actual sights or scopes. In the first mission, we kill what we believe to be Castro.
You ready to make history?
Priel meant not to show the girl mercy, as if you do, she'll just shoot you. I wonder why when we hover over Castro's body, it's still red. We help our pal Woods via a military plane, and this is easily one of the most chaotic moments in Call of Duty ever, and I love it for that reason alone. Unfortunately, we sacrifice our own escape for Woods' escape, and we then get a strike to the head and pass out.
We killed you. No. You killed a double. You think we didn't know of your plan?
We always know.
Do with him what you wish, General. He's my gift to you, in honor of our new relationship. Just make sure that he suffers.
He will know suffering beyond his darkest fears. I have plans for you, American.
Oh, he did. Dragovich sure did. Fukuda. He had to fight. Just to survive.
What happened in Vorkuta, Mason?
I was on my own. Almost a year.
Fake, Mason! What did they do to you?
I'd given up hope of ever getting out. But Viktor Reznov found a way.
Now, Treyarch's last game was World at War, which was in development about 3 years prior to Black Ops 1, so it's safe to say that Treyarch had been waiting patiently to give the world a real introduction to him as a character, and it's in the next mission where we get the introduction that Reznov truly deserves.
You great American!
Viktor Reznov.
My friend.
You hit like a child! Вы только через село, понимаете? Собаки! Эй, сволочь! Эй, всегда ты, Резнов! Ха! 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 Ха!
Reznov.
Mason. Every journey begins with a single step.
This is step one! Secure the keys! Now! We take Vorkuta!
I gotta say, seeing Reznov going from creeping amongst dead bodies in subpar HD to rallying an uprising in full HD, it's just a joy to witness. Reznov states that
Victory cannot be achieved without sacrifice, Mason. We Russians know this better than anyone.
And this is something we do not know yet, but we will learn very well throughout this game. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but it feels so refreshing to have a story that feels so personal in a first-person shooter. This is to me what makes Call of Duty Black Ops far, far better than most FPS games, especially with game series like Battlefield.
Hey dudes, here I am with the new Battlefield. Oh, that's the tank. Okay.
I also love that they spend time trying to build tension and story instead of just constant shooting. Now, just like when we tried escaping with Woods, escaping doesn't come without sacrifice, as Reznov lets us escape, but knows that he can't do the same.
Step 8, Reznov! Freedom! For you, Mason! Not for me! Reznov!
And that was the last you saw of Viktor Reznov.
Yes. At least for a while.
Alex escapes back to the US and get into a meeting with John F. Kennedy. This is also where we get introduced to Jason Hudson, which will become very important to the story later on.
This is it.
Why the Pentagon?
Hudson couldn't tell me. He didn't have clearance.
Your convoy is ready, sir. Welcome to the Pentagon.
Your reputation precedes you, sir.
Step on it.
Nothing less than our national security is at stake. He has no fear, no conscience, no weakness. This is Nikita Dragovich. I believe you two have already met.
When do I kill him?
We're lucky to have you back, Mason.
We were watching you the whole time.
It's not possible.
I was in the Pentagon.
Please tell him we're here.
Kept hearing numbers.
Distinguished.
Couldn't get them out of my head.
He's waiting.
Felt something gnawing at. I don't know. It felt like I was in a dream. Step 2. Ascend from darkness. Step 3. Rain fire.
Good luck, Mason.
Mr. President?
Agent Mason.
Great honor, Mr. President.
Sit. We are in grave danger from the communists. Our freedom, our very way of life is at risk. Dragovich. I'm told that you are the very best that we have. Anywhere. You will need to be. Mr. Mason, take care of it.
While I'm not entirely convinced by the JFK impression,
I can stay up all night long. I accentuated the up and also the long for what I hope are obvious.
this scene is excellently done and shows that something is interfering with Mason's true self. So if you can't tell, I'm recording this at a later time because initially in my script I decided to skip over this mission, but while editing this video I decided that there were a few key things I want to point out before moving on. In the next mission, we group up with Woods to help destroy a Russian rocket that is sent to target the US. The US had planted a double agent, Grigory Weaver, that was working from the inside trying to sabotage the rocket. Now the mission plays out fairly normally until we find out that Weaver had been caught by Kravchenko and was now set to be executed if the US troops in the area don't surrender. Weaver loses his eye and Woods and Alex decide to infiltrate the site by wearing the enemy's uniform.
Was saving Weaver more important to you than your objective to kill Dragovich?
Weaver was Russian. He was alright.
Hope your time for Kuda helps your Russian, Mason.
Along with Duolingo's certified Russian speaking.
Hold your fire, work the disguise.
Эй, что это за шум?
Да, собаки по гратье.
Ладно, будьте начеку. Если чертовы псы будут брехать, пристрелите их и
Да, да. We're good.
They are able to destroy the rocket after it's been launched. After this, we look for Kravchenko, which is nowhere to be found.
Kravchenko escaped before we could get to him.
You were getting close. Dragovich was there, wasn't he?
We searched the whole base. Couldn't find the bastard
This
anywhere.
is a waste of time. He's delusional.
And then we ran into Dragovich's limo. I had him.
Satisfied, Mason?
No, not yet. Not until I see the body.
Dragovich, did you confirm the kill?
Trust me. That rat ass is a fucking charcoal briquette.
One of the most important parts about this mission happens right before the mission even begins, which is the date that the mission takes place in, November 17th, 1963, which would be 5 days before Lee Harvey Oswald would assassinate JFK. For now, all that we know is that what Alex did between the mission and the next few years is unknown, as the interviewer doesn't have a record of his whereabouts during this time, and Alex is suffering from extreme memory loss due to his brainwashing. For now, I want you to keep note of the date of this mission and the fact that the game has no record of what Alex did between late 1963 to early 1968.
Where did Washington send you next?
Vietnam. Fucking Quezon.
This was in 1968.
Yeah, I was part of the SOG unit led by Frank Woods. It was recon on covert Russian activity in Laos.
What about your CIA handler, Hudson? Was he in Quezon? Do you remember him there?
Hudson. And Mr. Shades. That guy was an ice cube.
In the fourth mission, we head to Vietnam, and it's here that we have a reunion with a very familiar face.
Woods, you look like hammered shit. We're so tough for shitting each other. It's not, baby.
It's good to see you.
Me too.
Jason Hudson, CIA. Thank you for your time, Sergeant. I've already briefed Mason broadly about the situation.
Let me fill in the blanks for you.
Mason. Reznov. How'd you get out of Vorkuta? Never thought I'd see you alive.
Not are you, my friend. I am here with a warning. Your government would do well to heed. Dragovich is planning an attack on the west.
Dragovich, I knew we'd see him again.
His influence spreads like a cancer. Even the Kremlin does not know what he is truly planning. He must be stopped, Mason.
Dragovich, Dreshenko, Steiner, all must die.
After reuniting with Reznov, we meet up with Woods again, and even though Reznov is there with us, they don't even seem to acknowledge him and seem to be more focused on the combat.
Bowman.
I am Reznov. Victor.
What took you so long, Mason? That intel better be worth it. Leave a niner. Where the hell's our pickup?
I also love that here and there you can hear the numbers broadcast going on as you play through the mission.
The enemy's courage could be the result of their newfound ally.
They're closing in!
21, 4, 0, 14.
The first character switch in this game comes later when we play as Hudson interviewing Clark, who helped Dragovich develop Nova 6, a deadly chemical weapon that could wipe out anyone who Dragovich wishes harm upon. This character switch is really excellent and helps build character, not just to the main character, but also the side characters that surround the story.
Hi, I'm Michael Mazzini, president of American Dental Care. For as low as $12 per month, you could have a dental, optical, or medical prescription.
I've been hunted across every corner of the globe. If you found me, so will they. They know everything you know. They're probably on their way now.
Why?
Dragovich doesn't like loose ends. I've never even dealt with him directly. Only Steiner, the German.
What was the nature of your business?
I was hired to help stabilize certain volatile compounds.
What kind of compound?
Nova 6. Biochemical weapon.
You let them right to me! Get your head down!
It's also in this mission where you get to see what Nova 6 really can do. I also gotta say the G11 in this game is probably the most satisfying sounding gun in gaming history. It's around this point where the music also just gets really fucking good.
I got you!
What about the numbers, Clark?
Oh yeah, dealer! Not down to поражение! That's the key, boy! Держи в поле зрения! Вот туда!
We're going to Russia. Mount Yamantau.
We get a throwback to World at War era Reznov as we play as him. This is really where we get to see... Who the fuck did the voice acting for Reznov? Gary Oldman.
I think that the players are becoming more sophisticated at a young age.
I gotta go, but I'll be back in like an hour.
Bro,
you're
what
good.
the Sigma?
What the
Gary Oldman's fantastic performance and abilities when it comes to storytelling, playing through the level as it happens and then cutting to the present moment where Reznov talks about how haunting these memories are for him, is a way of storytelling that is so effective at capturing the person playing.
The wounds he sustained, ensuring our victory should have earned him a hero's welcome to Russia. But Stalin had little need for heroes.
It's incredible that this level of storytelling is coming from a fucking Call of Duty game. Black Ops' movement and playstyle along with World at War weapons is probably the most well-executed World War II game that Call of Duty would ever reach. This mission is just unbelievably fun to play. From the gameplay to the weapons to the music. To the characters, to the tone, just everything about this mission is perfect.
Shut up about my head. It is normal. It is a nice head. It does not look like a sodding tic.
Reznov, you nearly took a bullet.
No one fights alone. I will work my way around.
All right, but move quietly.
This is Lushenko's forward compound.
It looks abandoned
Grushenko anticipated our arrival.
and left in a hurry.
Look around.
February 4th, 1968. Stabilizing agents supplied by Dr.
Quick, grab the documents, Reznov. We're leaving.
Much success. Recent field tests on the local population have shown this to be the most effective strain of Nova 6 produced thus far. As with previous animal tests at rebirth, the onset of symptoms in human subjects is exactly in line with our expectations. Within 30 seconds of inhaling the gas, subjects experience sudden and severe pain, quickly followed by significant drop in blood pressure, leading to fever, nausea, and vomiting. After 60 seconds, blistering of the skin begins, followed by scaling, peeling, and discoloration across the subject's entire body, effectively signaling the onset. At this stage, we have had limited success by way of aggressive surgical debridement in keeping subjects alive.
Go! Kurchenko had the place wired to blow. X-ray, do you monitor? Damn it!
Harry Mason! I do not wish this rat hole to become my grave!
Mick, what the fuck happened? We're seeing fire from the tunnels. Where the hell are you? We'll maintain a holding pattern until we have eyes on.
Shit!
VC Mason!
Where are you, Woods? Come on!
Let's get the fuck out of here!
Heading into the present moment, the boat scene is just incredibly fun, and a nice little moment of catching your breath after a really claustrophobic level.
That young kid didn't make it. I swear to God that Woods was crying. But he never let us see no tears.
With our feet back on the ground and weapons pointed high, it almost feels nostalgic shooting at enemies in the trees, since that was something you were constantly doing in World of War.
4, 6, 21, 17, 14, 9,
Dragovich, Kravchenko.
It's been too long, Mason. We must make up for lost time.
You were captured by Dragovich a second time. Your unit was MIA in Laos, presumed dead. Your handler, Hudson, had no choice but to continue the hunt for Nova 6 without you.
He went to Mount Yamantau, fucking Soviet doomsday bunker.
That's right. A fully operational military complex buried deep in the Ural Mountains.
That's where Hudson was contacted by Frederick Steiner, the Nazi scientist that developed the initial strain of Nova 6 for Dragovich.
Hudson learned about the numbers there, the broadcasts. I've been there, Mason. I've been to the Yamantau complex.
Oh my God, the numbers are real.
They've always been real, Mason. This isn't a game. We face annihilation unless you cooperate. Where is the broadcast station?
We then head to space as we get to play more of a military strategy game. Not particularly a highlight in and of itself, but being able to play as the characters you are guiding makes it a lot better. We then get a callback back to what happened after our team was captured in Vietnam. Bowman dies from insulting the interrogator with a metal pipe.
Communist piece of shit.
Bowman! Bowman! You fucking son of a bitch!
And Woods is brought in next.
Don't you touch me!
What? Shit.
Motherfuckers. I'm gonna make them pay.
You! No talk. Play!
What's the plan? I'm thinking.
No talk!
One chance, Mason. We'll take it. Okay.
Bang! You can't kill me! You shoot, GI, you shoot! Fuck!
This time, do it.
Aim line!
Ready.
Play. Bang!
6 and 8 o'clock.
Russia, now!
Let's go.
24-17.
Kravchenko's compound can't be far. Evil bastard's days are numbered.
We then head to a local military camp nearby the cave exit and steal the helicopter that is stored there and get to spend the next 5 minutes engaging in some patriotic ass kicking, as we get to not only shoot the guns in the helicopter but also fully control it. And yet again we meet the same old familiar face when rescuing US prisoners that the enemies have taken captive.
Please! Mason! The POWs!
Is that you?
Reznov! Get you out.
Kravchenko is here.
This way! We cannot let him slip through our grasp.
I thought you were dead.
When we were captured at the river, they brought me here.
Wood seems now to be getting frustrated by Mason's incoherent talking.
Mason! What the fuck are you doing? We gotta get these guys out!
Rodrigo, to the side, my friend.
We're in charge of our own destiny now, Reznov. Kravchenko must die.
After fighting our way through a wave of enemies, we meet another familiar face.
Not this time, American. You again. I should have killed you in Vorkuta. Got you now, you son of a bitch. You die.
What?
I got you, Mason.
What?
You're okay. Are you okay? Mason.
Reznov.
Kravchenko is dead. Dragovich, Kravchenko, Stein. All must die.
For God's sake, where is the number station?
All must die.
You killed Kravchenko. You obliterated their base. Mason, Woods and Bowman were both killed. Your entire SOC team wiped out. Only you survived, Mason. You. No one else.
No, Reznov survived.
Just you, Mason.
No, Reznov is still with me. Since Vorkuta.
No. I wasn't rogue. I was continuing the mission.
You went to Rebirth Island against orders. Why, Mason?
Steiner was there! We had to kill Steiner!
But Hudson and the CIA were already on their way to get Steiner at Rebirth. Why did you have to go?
Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner, they all had to die.
We wanted Steiner alive! Why did you have to kill him?
Because the numbers were telling me to! Why don't you fucking understand?
Dragovich's sleeper cells are on U.S. soil. Nova 6 is weaponized. They will use it. Moscow has gone dark. We are out of options. A preemptive strike on Russia is prepared. The President will authorize. Mason, for the last time, where It's the number station!
How many times Steiner was at Rebirth Island? We had to kill Steiner.
We? Victor Reznov?
Wanted the same thing. The same.
We're losing him again. Oh God, he's back at Rebirth.
Rebirth Island. Source of Dragnovich's poison. They are preparing to build Nova 6. Not on my watch.
We invade Steiner's lab with Reznov. We then discover that the US Army have begun their own infiltration into Steiner's lab.
This is Hudson. We know you're on Rebirth Island. Talk to me, Mason.
However, Reznov insists again that we must get to Steiner first in order to kill him.
Let us end this.
Dragovich's men are rounding up everyone on fire. Those no longer essential to his plans are being executed. You must hurry before they kill me too!
Friedrich Steiner. This is the end.
I know you. Vorkuta. You don't know what we did to you.
Mason, talk to me.
Your evil has claimed the lives of many good men. No longer.
Killing me will not stop Nova.
I do not care about no one. My name is Victor Reznov. And I will have my revenge!
I swear to God, that's how Steiner died. Reznov killed him right in front of me!
You're lying, Mason. You killed Steiner. We know you did.
Reznov got exactly what he wanted. Revenge.
We saw the report, Mason. Victor Reznov did not kill Friedrich Steiner. Hudson saw what happened.
After Reznov kills Steiner, we get a switch in angle as we go back in time as Hudson, who is stationed in Rebirth Island as a part of the same military operation. And I also gotta say, the music during the hazmat level is so fucking good. Another interesting thing to point out here is that this is the first time since Call of Duty 1 where you can't automatically regen health. Since the more your hazmat suit gets damaged, you inch closer and closer to being exposed to the Nova 6 in the air. After fighting our way through waves and waves of enemies to get to Steiner's lab, we then get to see what Mason doesn't see.
Mason! We have to stop him now! Damn, it's bulletproof! Mason, what are you doing? We need him alive! Stand down! Stand down!
My name is Victor Reznov, and I will have my
revenge! Mason, no! I'm fine. Check Steiner. He's dead. What about Reznov, the defector? We need to find him.
We won't. He was never here. I didn't believe it till I saw it with my own eyes. What did they do to you in Vorkuta, Mason?
Steiner dead. Mason's our only link to the numbers broadcasts.
We need to bring him back.
Let's go. This way! It will take us to the dock. This is Weaver. We have the package. We're on our way.
Copy that. We're taking the docks now.
What the hell did they do to you, Mason?
Mason, my friend, tell me, what is left to believe in when you are betrayed by your own? When all that you are, all that you have done, is buried beneath the lies and the deceit of corrupt men. I would die in this wretched place. The only thing that keeps me alive is the thirst for vengeance. They must be stopped, Mason. Dragovich, Steiner, Kravchenko. All must die.
In the following interrogation scene, we get to finally see who has been questioning us all this time.
He knows how to translate the codes. He's heard the broadcasts which we know contain the location. It's all in his head somewhere. He does know where it is. We have to get to the bunker. We're at DEFCON 2. You've tried everything. Not yet. I have one more card to play.
Get out of here, Weaver. Tell them I failed.
You want to die with him? Your choice.
Damn it! Why can't you remember? Reznov's dead, Mason. Did you hear me? He's dead! Weaver's right. We're out of time. The Russians fucked you up. I know you. You're not a traitor.
Mason walks through Steiner's lab, writhing in agony as the clash between the information Hudson has revealed to us and Mason's brainwashing crash against each other, causing Mason to have a complete mental breakdown that seems to be causing him intense pain.
You again. I should have killed you in Vorkuta. Wait a few moments. Let him rest. When he regains consciousness, double the voltage.
I remember! Yeah! Vorkuta!
The subject has been successfully implanted with the knowledge to translate the number sequences.
So, what is the problem?
His responses to our orders have been sporadic, unpredictable. He shows a remarkable resilience.
Why?
He is unusual, atypical. Few men possess such will. Our other test subjects have been far more successful.
If he will not follow the orders embedded in the numbers, then he is of no use to me. He can rot. Take him back to his cell.
Oh, the fucking... Oh my God!
We are all brothers.
You said the trust America.
With my life. He and us are not so different. We are all soldiers without an arm. Betrayed, forgotten, abandoned.
You have!
We are brothers, Mason. We are the same.
Now at this point, the player and Mason is in complete shambles about what to even believe in the story. It's at this point that Hudson has gained his footing and has been able to catch up to us, and gives a fantastic performance where he breaks Mason's brainwashing.
Not yet. Not until I see the body.
But pain is difficult, isn't it? We are brothers, Mason. We are the same. Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner, all must die.
Dragovich brainwashed you, but Reznov had plans of his own.
Mason.
Reznov, how'd you get out of Vorkuta? Never thought I'd see you alive. He was never in Vietnam. The real defector with the Nova 6 dossier died during the attack on the MacV. He was never in the rat tunnels. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Kravchenko is here. This way. We cannot let him slip through our grasp.
He was never at Rebirth Island.
My name is Victor. Mason! My name is Victor Reznov, and I will have my revenge! Mason, no! Step 8, Reznov! Freedom! For you, Mason! Not for me!
Victor Reznov's been dead for 5 years. He died at Vorkuta during the escape. All the years you thought he was with you, that was just in your mind.
I trusted him.
That's why it worked. It was their attempt at MK-Ultra. Dragovich programmed you to kill Kennedy, but Reznov sabotaged you. He wanted revenge for all the Dragovich done to him. Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner, 3 new victims. There are gaps in your memory. Periods where you went MIA and we couldn't account for you. But now that the brainwashing's been broken, all that lost time will come back. We need to leave. The Nova 6 strike is imminent. Hundreds of sleeper agents, hidden in every state capital, are about to unleash this poison on your own countrymen. When Steiner died, we lost our key to unlocking the location of number broadcasts. You were programmed at Vorkuta to translate the number codes. Only you can tell us what the codes mean. Nova 6 was just one of the sleeper operations, but I'm sure there were others. Ones we didn't even know about. We have the broadcasts. We play them to you over and over again for hours, but we haven't been able to break through your programming yet. Mason, this is our last shot. Listen, for God's sake, listen again.
21, 7, 21, 4, 2, 14, 3, 14, 7, 18, 13, 6, 22.
Do with him what you wish, General. It's my gift to you, in honor of our new relationship.
I owe you. Vorkuta. You don't know what we did to you.
The subject has been successfully implanted with the knowledge to translate the number sequences.
All agents. Our new allies in Cuba have graciously permitted the construction of a new
and permanent broadcast station within their borders. From now until Project Nova's initiation, all instructions will be broadcast from the result. Our plan to strike at the very heart of the West is now in motion. Await further instructions.
Do with him what you wish, General. It's my gift to you, in honor of our new relationship. In honor of our new relationship.
Permanent broadcast station within their borders. All instructions will be broadcast from the result.
I know where the number station is. It's a ship. I saw it a long time ago. The Rusalka.
Where?
Cuba.
Our plan to strike at the very heart of the West is now in motion.
He must be stopped, Mason.
He has no fear, no conscience, no weakness.
The first part of the mission is split into 2 parts, the first of which being a helicopter mission where you weaken the Kasalka's weaponries, and the second part being taking out the enemy forces on the ship's deck. After having searched through the entire ship, we are still unable to find either the exact broadcast source or Dragovich. Via a moon pool, they are able to assume that the broadcast source is most likely underwater, and Mason decides to risk his own life in order to try and confirm a kill on Dragovich. After fighting through wave after wave of enemies, we finally see the man himself. Dragovich.
Should have been my finest agent. It would have all been so much simpler. Dragovich! Yes! I'm gonna kill you! Trying to fuck with my mind! Fire! You don't know anything! Tried to turn me against my own! Tried to make me kill my own president! Right? Come on, Mason! Mason, this way! This place is falling apart!
After killing Dragovich, we make our way back up to the surface and see what is probably one of the most beautiful and patriotic Call of Duty scenes ever.
Mason! It is over. We won.
For now.
19, 20, 10, 14, 2, 3, 19, 0, 8, 11, 22, 21, 5, 17. 17, 0, 10, 2, 23, 1, 8, 11, 25, 22, 9, 4,
6.5 millimeter.
9, 23, 1, 12, 0, 12, 16,
11, 22.
6, 12, 8, 4, 1, 6, 2, 10, 2, 1.
Texas.
Instructed via the numbers broadcast, Alex Mason had assassinated John F. Kennedy in 1963. As we see during the second to last mission as Mason is stumbling around, we hear him say, This tells us that Oswald was meant to be the original assassinator, but was then compromised and unable to proceed with the kill. It's here that Alex would step in and do the job himself. How he was able to get away with this is a bit difficult to know, and it's here where we can only speculate. Personally, I believe that on the day of Kennedy's death, there were multiple sleeper cell agents in the area, including Lee Harvey Oswald and Alex Mason. The Russians had originally planned for Oswald to assassinate Kennedy. Within the story of Black Ops 1, it is most likely that Oswald received the same brainwashing as Alex did during Oswald's actual time in the Soviet Union during 1959. For example, we do know that Steiner had multiple other test subjects, and I personally believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was one of them.
Our orders have been sporadic, unpredictable. He shows a remarkable resilience.
Why?
He is unusual, atypical. Few men possess such will. Our other test subjects have been far more successful.
If he will not follow the orders embedded in the numbers, then he is of no use to me. He can run. Take him back to his cell.
However, on the day of the Kennedy assassination, after setting up his rifle, he would be compromised and therefore unable to proceed with the kill. We already know that Alex possesses murderous impulses when in proximity to JFK, and was most likely instructed by the numbers broadcast to kill JFK. The CIA would then launch an investigation where they would conclude that Oswald was the one who killed JFK and only placed Alex as a person of suspicion. I believe that the reason why the CIA did not conclude that Alex was the one who killed JFK was because of Alex's work with the US military, helping the US avoid total destruction by helping them find the Rusalka. I also believe that Hudson played a role in this. As he's speaking to us during the second to last mission, we can hear him say that the Russians had tried to make him kill his own president. This shows us that Hudson did not and does not suspect Alex of having done it.
Why, it worked! It was their attempt at MK-Ultra. Dragovich programmed you to kill Kennedy, but Reznov sabotaged you. He wanted revenge for all the Dragovich done to him. Dragovich, Kravchenko, Steiner.
When Alex kills Dragovich, we can hear Alex say,
I can make him kill my own president!
However, the reason why Alex says this is because of what Hudson told him. Since Alex doesn't remember the event himself, he believes what Hudson says and makes his telling of the events his own.
I can make him kill my own president! Right?
The fact that Alex says nothing in return tells us that this startles Alex and plants a seed that will later result in him recovering his memory of this event. What happens after the game ends is Alex remembering what actually happened that day, just like what Hudson was talking about when he said,
"There are gaps in your memory. Periods where you went MIA and we couldn't account for you. But now that the brainwashing's been broken, all that lost time will come back."
And that's exactly what we see in the final cutscene. We see Alex's mind slowly start to recover his memory. Alex's biggest secret would be kept forever, and the public would never come to know that the person who killed their president was an American war hero.
Ascension.
But hey, that's just a game.
It's a ship. I saw it a long time ago. The Rusalka.
Where?
Cuba.
While Black Ops 2 would be able to yet again reach new heights with what was possible within the FPS genre, Black Ops 1 still stands as a game with one of the best written campaigns in gaming history, as Call of Duty would never really be able to write characters that felt as real as the ones in Black Ops. While I would come to prefer Black Ops 2 for its grandiosity in terms of story and gameplay, Black Ops 1 to me had the bigger guts in order to write a story that wasn't focused on war, but the people within this war.
Yes. You sure can trust us, America?
With my life. He and us are not so different. We are all soldiers without an army, betrayed, forgotten, abandoned. In Vorkuta, we are all brothers.
Elegantly shows that making a fantastic FPS game does not have to come at the cost of an incredible story.
I had destroyed the Nova 6 shipment and prevented it from falling into the hands of the British. But I was a fool to think that the threat was over. It was only after I was captured and sent to Vorkuta that I learned of Dragovich's true intentions. He will die before he gives up on Nova 6. Listen to me. We are running out of time, my friend. Can you trust your leaders to destroy it? Or do you think they will use it? The flag may be different, but the methods are the same. They will use you as they used me. You must decide. Decide what you think is worth fighting for. Dragovich, Kravchenko, Stein. These men must die.
Do I even need to say anything? It's just fucking good. Put it in S tier. Come on.
My name is Matt Lees from RoxM, and we are at the official launch of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. We got a massive celebrity tournament going on just behind us. We've got a professor playing, we got a chipmunk playing apparently. But we don't really care about any of those guys. We're going to go and talk to the real fans at the HMV midnight launch. What are you most looking forward to with this one?
Multiplayer, to be honest. Yeah. That's all good. That's all I just jump into. I don't really care about the campaign.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 was released on November 12th, 2012 and was developed by Treyarch. The game came out on all major platforms along with the PlayStation Vita that would get its own version called Black Ops Declassified, which according to an archived post from GameClocks states that Black Ops Declassified was criticized heavily for its poor graphics. Which I mean, they're not wrong. Anyways, story-wise, the game is a continuation of what happened during Black Ops 1, although the game is split between two periods of time and the game shifts between these two periods frequently throughout the game. The first era that this game takes place in is about 10 years after Alex Mason returned from his last mission in Black Ops 1 and started raising his son alone. As David's mother had been dead for some time and that her death most likely happened around the time of Alex signing up for the military for the events that transpired in Black Ops 1. The second period of time is in the year 2025 where Alex has grown up with his father missing and presumably for some time and is now in the military in order to help take down the game's main antagonist, Raul Menendez. But going one thing at a time, the game starts off with David and his buddy Harper paying now veteran Woods. Wait, what the fuck? How did he just survive a suicide bomb? Okay, anyways, they pay him a visit at a retirement home as they believe that Menendez had been there just prior.
Was Raul Menendez here today?
Sergeant Woods. Raul Menendez is the leader of Cortes Dia.
And the most dangerous terrorist since Osama bin Laden.
The cutscene shows us that Menendez had been there and had given Woods the necklace that Menendez's sister had given to him during the house fire that we saw in the intro cutscene. Woods seems to be in a wheelchair now for reasons we do not know. Woods gives the necklace to David and states that Menendez had only said one thing to him in Spanish.
All he said was, mi hermana. That's Spanish for sister, dipshit.
This triggers something in David, and he seems to start remembering events that occurred previously in his life.
You boys better get your shit together. He's gonna attack.
Black Ops 2 starts its story right here by Harper recording Woods giving them intel. Shortly after this, we get a flashback to David's upbringing.
Your old man. He's doing okay in Alaska. Fucking Hudson showed up.
Dad, I'm scared. I need help.
You're 7 years old, David. Stop acting like a baby.
I hate you.
David, wait.
Go back to the army, like you did when Mom died.
We see that David's upbringing was built upon Alex's rough way of parenting and soon abandonment. Hudson then shows up and informs Alex that Woods had gone MIA during an operation in Angola and that the CIA had no intentions of trying to recover him back to base, and that they need Alex's help in order to get him back. In terms of David, he would be staying with Hudson's wife, and the game hints here that Jenny having to take care of David had happened before.
David can stay with Jenny, like before. She loves having him. He'll be fine.
Dad, you said you'd never go back to the army. You promised me.
It's Uncle Woods, son. He'd do it for me.
Most likely in order to return one of the many favors Woods had given to him in the 1960s. I mean, he literally sacrificed his own life in order to help Alex with his goal of killing Kravchenko. The game then jumps into the first mission, where we play as Alex, who is under the command of Jonas Savimbi, and the game quickly establishes that Alex is under a different set of rules when in the chaotic wars against the MPLA in Angola.
Savimbi, you gotta help! Right, damn it!
The fire finished. Sometimes it's too late to save a man. We must move out before we join him in death. Water fire means the MPLA is ready for attack. If they want a fight, we give them a fight! Move out!
Mason, you copy?
Go ahead, Hudson.
MPLA forces advancing on your position about 1 click north.
Hey, we know! Savimbi's leading a countercharge.
However, before I get too into the first mission, I want to also note that in this game, we finally get the awesome ability to customize our own loadouts with different weapons and attachments. Now, the weapons and attachments that you gain access to are limited by the time period the mission is taking place in. But later on when we play as David, the weapon customization is deeply fleshed out and super fun to play around with. The game tells you exactly what attachments are on the weapon, instead of doing what Black Ops 1 did of just saying multiple attachments. To me, it seemed like Black Ops 1 didn't really fully utilize the possibilities of different weapon attachments, especially with enemy weapons. But this game fully utilizes it and is not afraid to slap a long name on a heavy customized weapon. Now back to the mission. Savimbi is a great character and does a good job of encouraging and motivating the player to get the ball rolling in terms of jumping into the action and getting the game started.
They are weak! We must finish them!
Throughout the battle, we get a swap in viewpoint to Hudson, who assists us from the sky in a chopper. While this mission isn't as cool as the AC-130 mission in Modern Warfare 1, for example, it's still a cool addition and provides a break from the endless shooting on ground. After winning the battle, Savimbi tells us that Woods is being held captive on a transport boat on the Cubango River. Shooting down a wave of enemies at sea, we manage to find Woods in bad shape inside of a storage container.
Woods, are you in there, brother?
Bodies are badly decomposed. These men have been dead for weeks. Woods. Frank? Frank! It's me! It's me, Mason! What did they do to him, Hudson?
We then get blown up and have to save Woods and bring him to land. Hudson decides that it would be a good idea to use the radio lines that are in a local military camp. A stealth mission follows, and I'll be honest to say, is a mission that I usually dread when replaying this game. The mission just involves a lot of waiting, and enemies can discover you even though you think you might be completely hidden. However, when the game works like it should and the enemies are standing right in front of you, it does feel pretty cool to play through.
Hold position, right in front of us. Okay, we're clear. Move out of the grass.
Luckily, the game steps the fuck up in terms of quality, and we get our first face-to-face interaction with Menendez.
Mullah Rahman. Do not concern yourself with local politics. Prosta marionetka. Как ты? Делай. Как сказано.
You are dead, man, unless you do exactly as I say. Tune the radio to...
You're going to kill me, see?
No one move or this fucker gets it!
El americano le está diciendo que no se muevan.
Shut up!
Él piensa que está en control, pero él no es.
I said shut up! Lower your weapon! I swear to God, I'll kill this bastard!
Los americanos no saben nada sobre la lealtad. Quizás nosotros deberíamos demostrar.
You son of a bitch!
This cutscene establishes Menendez so well, relentlessly destructive but always very calculated. It's just perfectly executed. Well, I mean almost. The retreat back to the river is extremely nerve-wracking and thrilling at the same time, and the whole level ends perfectly by showing us that Wood still has a fight left in him.
No. Fucking Russians. Damn it, no way out.
Well, we got him, Mason.
Can't kill me. You can't kill me. Next to you, old man. Put it all on the line for me. For honor, friendship. Yeah. It's just like you, kid.
The cutscene that follows is great and perfectly balances that kind of serious world-ending war type game, while also having that sort of old man rambler type vibe.
How it started. Your old man tries to kill Menendez. Menendez wants payback, even if it takes decades. Menendez, back then, was a big fish in a small pond. He made his cake, running a drug cartel out of Nicaragua. It was a hand-me-down. The CIA smoked his old man. Old Cyclops is pretty pissed at America. While we're fucking around the Middle East, the Russians and the Chinese are getting real cozy. Huh. Now, the politicians.
Pentagon's like, how do we get the jellyfish into total war? Dance around and prance. You can see Black Ops guys are just sitting.
They want you to think this is about ideology. It's a lot of horse shit. Give me your phone. Go ahead. Rare earth elements. Whole fucking world runs on this shit. Who controls all of it? China. So while corporate America is kissing China's ass.
Now the mysterious Cortes Diaz social network has crowdsourced simultaneous protests in both Iran and North Korea. Never seen in public, who really is the leader of Cortes Diaz? He's known only as Odysseus.
Odysseus? My ass.
Raul fucking Menendez. Asshole.
I told JSOC, but they were too busy. See, the drone race had started.
I mean, really, guys? You're gonna build an entire military based on a mineral element that's wholly controlled by China? I need a drink. Dipshit.
No, God.
Give me a soda. Get it from the nurse's stash. None of that diet crap.
China's Premier Chen is outraged by Cortes Diaz's leaked memo, alleging the cyber attack was covertly ordered by the White House.
And through all the dirty shit the U.S. government's gotten away with, this time they're innocent and no one fucking believes them. They take out Cortes Diaz's network 2 days later. The director of the FBI burned alive. Right now, 1 billion people believe that Raul Menendez is their savior. Guess what, boys? He's not. You better take him out pretty fucking quick. That shit's gonna happen.
As soon as we get to the mountain swinging scene, it becomes clear why Black Ops 2 was so different from its competitors.
Ready?
After swinging on a mountainside, we almost get taken down by a tree that falls down.
You okay? Yeah, we're okay. Thanks to you.
I love this because it shows that even though these characters have access to the highest level of modern technology, they are still vulnerable to the forces of nature.
Aero Pro has been built for the extremes. Its weather-resistant shell and corrosion-resistant coating protect all internal...
The wingsuit flying scene is just straight up awesome. Call of Duty around this time really did a good job showing that it's not really about the shooting that's the fun part, but what leads up to it. The enemy's invisible suits get a really cool introduction, and does something really cool by introducing you to the enemy's capabilities without having to tell you anything.
Section, you seeing this?
Yeah. Be ready to move on my kill. An EMP grenade will fry their cloaking systems.
After that, you get a slight chance to decide on how you want to approach the enemy. Things like this really improve the overall experience of the game. Shortly after, it becomes clear very fast that Black Ops 2 did combat like no other FPS. Black Ops 2 perfectly nails the balance between fast action-paced combat and slow and calculated orientation around the enemies. Later on in the level, we get access to the enemy's camouflage armor, which is a lot more powerful inside than in the rain because we basically become completely invisible when using it. Now, just before you think you'll be able to pass through the level like a breeze, the game throws a big explosion in your face and overwhelms you with enemies. After fighting off waves of enemies, we meet Eric, who works for the weapons manufacturing plant that Menendez uses to provide Cortes Diaz with weapons. This is off script, but I forgot to put this in. Cortes Diaz is kind of like a resistance group that Menendez is leading. It's basically who you're shooting at throughout the game.
Entanglement. This single device has more processing power than your entire military infrastructure. Rumors around the lab were that Menendez plans to use it as a basis for a massive cyber attack. I heard talk of something called Karma. It may be the name for the cyber weapon. If Menendez uses a Solarium worm to initiate an attack, there will be nothing anyone can do to stop it. Stop it.
We meet up with Admiral Briggs.
Section, your team can stand out.
It's Briggs! Stand out! It's the extraction team! Boy, are you a sight for sore eyes.
I guess we can call this mission accomplished.
Admiral Briggs, good to see you.
You too, Section.
Whatever Menendez is planning, Solarium is the key to it.
Well, we finally got one over this cocksucker.
He said it! He said
figure out Menendez without getting inside his fucking head. Salazar, you grew up in Nicaragua during his rise to power. You know his legends better than anyone. Tell me, why does he hate us so much?
Tu Primera Guerra Fría. As a boy, he witnessed the country's rape and murder his people. In 1972, there was a colossal earthquake. His family lost everything. A year later, the only thing he ever loved, his sister Josefina, was crippled in a fire. Raúl and his father started over, sold drugs for easy money. They became rich, powerful legends of Managua. The Menendez cartel was all but untouchable, so the CIA took out Raúl's father in a US-sanctioned assassination.
Right, so now Menendez fucking hated America and started running guns in Afghanistan for his own private army. CIA got wind of it, went on the hunt for him in Kabul. That was the photo Wood showed us in the vault, remember?
See that handsome bastard? That's me. The ugly one's your father. F Nam. The numbers and all that? I mean, he was one dangerous son of a bitch.
I love how we're going back and forth between David and Alex. This gives us more and more context for each fight we have. We then play as Alex as we help the Mujahideen fight against the Russians so that we can get more intel on Menendez.
Rahman, this is Woods and Mason, my two best men.
We need weapons, not soldiers.
This should be good.
Just so we're clear, we hold off the Russian attack, you give us what you have on Menendez.
Our base is here. Any advance will come through one of the narrow passes leading into the valley.
I know this. Our men defend these mountains.
Our weapons will give them an edge.
That's a bullshit plan. You're talking about the Russian army here. They come at you with brute force, which means strength in numbers and heavy armor. Are your men ready for that?
They have no experience with the weaponry we brought.
And we do. We belong on the front line.
The Russian assault has begun. Yalla! Yalla, what are we doing?
You have faith in your plans, America.
I got more than faves out.
Let's rock it.
This is a very risky mission for Alex and Woods to participate in, since there will be large consequences if the Russians were to find out that the Americans were fighting against them in Afghanistan, so it's important that both Woods and Alex don't die.
Yo, that ain't gonna happen.
It's really cool how we're able to actually control and ride the horse where we want to in an open environment, instead of a scripted event like it often is in early FPS games.
Mason, better take a look.
This isn't over yet.
The Russians want to give us one last display of brute force.
Let's give them one last display of courage. You with me?
What the fuck? Fucking Kravchenko. Piece of shit. Of course he's involved in all this.
Seeing Mason start seeing the numbers again is almost painful after everything that had happened in Black Ops 1. After Kravchenko is knocked out, he is taken to the underground planning bunker in order to be interrogated.
Couple times, I saw the tick. And I get that look in his eyes, he's scanning the room. Next thing you know, he's talking to the Russian. Fucking Reznov. Good old Tricky Vic.
I left you to rot in Vietnam, Sergeant Woods. You should be dead.
Nobody told me. Buddy Rahman tells me you're doing business with a Nicaraguan named Raul Menendez. What do you do for him? You believe in an eye for an eye? Huh? This is a Mujahideen, baby. They'll bury you up to your neck, peel your eyelids back, and leave you to fry in the desert. I'll take you out quick. Tell me about Menendez.
I sell him weapons.
Mason starts seeing numbers and hearing Reznov telling him to kill Kravchenko. If we don't resist and shoot him instead, we won't find out that there's a mole within the CIA.
Where do the weapons go?
Cuba, Angola, the Third World.
Why?
Menendez wants to see a world burn.
But that's not gonna happen.
He's more powerful than you know. He even has people in the CIA.
Bullshit! This guy's fucking with us.
The fuck are you doing?
Menendez told me you must suffer.
You face piece of shit.
We help you fight the Russians. We're on your side.
No, you are and always will be our true enemy. Without water and shelter, you may last a day. If you are strong,
Unfortunately, Viktor Reznov saves us. However, Woods was at this point very aware of Alex's condition and knew that he was only seeing things.
So, we're in a desert buried. Here. Who does your father think rides up on a horse to save us?
Tricky Vic.
Yeah, see? You're just like your old man. No, it wasn't him.
Reznov.
Come on, if you think it was him, don't you think he would have stuck around for a bit, huh? Maybe explain some shit?
We then get a Strike Force mission in India, which doesn't really progress the story much, but shows off a lot of technical ability on the game designer's part.
Waypoint established. Moving now.
Although I will say that this does feel like a dud in the overall story, and can feel like a tech demo after having played through it once. I will say, however, that the Strike Force missions actually do make an impact on the story. For example, in a later mission, after eavesdropping on Menendez, we can gather enough intel to find out that Menendez is working with Tian Sao, a military leader in China. This unlocks a Strike Force mission where you can kill Tian Sao, which makes China provide aid later on in the game.
Menendez was in Nicaragua. Got that from Kravchenko. He's being offered up on a silver platter by old pineapple face himself, Manuel Noriega. One of the perks of being the president of Panama is that you get to use the army as your own private police force. So, CIA, in their infinite wisdom, they sign off on the deal. The White House, they cut a check for $1 million and everybody takes a victory lap. And off we go to the jungle. What we did in Nicaragua, that's an accident. We don't target civilians.
In the next mission, we find out that Menendez's sister, Josefina, is still alive and that Menendez had been taking care of her. We start off by scouting out the enemy we will be attacking and seeing how Menendez will be separated from his sister by military men who came to arrest him.
It's Raul Menendez.
I told you he would be here.
Are your men ready to move?
As soon as I give the order.
forgive it.
Avance.
Let's not fuck around here, boys. Let's smoke this bastard.
That's not the mission, Woods. We take him alive.
Si tocas a mi hermana, te lo juro que te mato. ¡Josefina!
Este es un monstruo.
¡Animal!
¡Josefina! ¡Quítenlo! ¡Está loca de remate! ¡Denle un sedante! ¡Téngalo quieto! ¡Rápido!
¡Josefina!
¡Despierta! He dicho despierta.
¿Lo sacaron sin que lo vieran?
Sí, nos sumó 4 para restringirlo.
No witnesses. You saved your life. You should be in American hands by now. Call it a favor.
While we attack, Menendez is desperately fighting his way back to his house where Josefina is.
Wait. No, can't be. What? Fucking Noriega! His men were supposed to secure Menendez. Menendez! Woods! Frank! You need to get your shit together now. It's not! This isn't the way. We're on mission. He's headed to the house. We'll get him, but we do it as a team. Come on. Let's go!
Hay que subirlo al camión. ¿Listo? 3, 2, 1. ¡Levante!
Frank, you okay?
Get him out of here.
What happened, Hudson? Where's Menendez?
That's him, in a body bag. From this point on, the day never happened.
We let the PDF walk off with the body. And now he's back. He's pretty pissed off, too.
They sure can't kill my old man. Somebody already beat him to it a long time ago. But he could have killed you. So why are you still alive, Frank?
Now it begins. I'm done talking. Go find that maniac.
After this mission, we find out that the CIA has an insider who is highly trusted by Menendez. We can also see that David is slowly starting to recollect his memory of when Menendez kidnapped him as a child.
What do you say we blow off a little steam, huh? Throw a few punches first? Ooh.
You got it.
Come on, go suffer with me.
What did you just say? Come suffer what?
These flashes I'm getting. Die. I know I was kidnapped the night my father died, but I could never see. It was Menendez. Did he kill my father? Okay, look, you know Woods raised me after my father died, right? But Woods always told me it was just some nut who did it, some drifter. What the hell's going on?
suffer with me for all the sins of those who came before you. Dale, dale, duro. Duro, nene.
Why didn't Woods tell me?
Woods, Hudson. They created this. For Josefina. Tonight your father will die!
Mason talking about his father's death also seems to be getting Woods on his nerves. We then get some intel about where and what Menendez is planning.
They care nothing for the suffering of their people. Neither do the Americans or the Chinese.
They care. They care for their own interest. We think it was looking for evidence of Chinese involvement in the region.
You're talking about the downed drone.
Of course. The Americans are always watching me.
They know even less than they think they do.
Here comes Menendez. Yeah, looks like he's meeting someone else.
The Falco.
After today's agreement, everything is now in place.
El lugar de la próxima reunión ya está acordado.
Indeed. He will meet you in Peshawar, northern Pakistan.
Asegúrate que toda la inteligencia relacionada al dron esté disponible antes de nuestra próxima discusión.
I will handle it personally.
Buen fortuna de Falco.
Different from the other models. Extracting the central computer is not a simple task. A series of security barriers are directly linked to the unit's self-destruct mechanism.
Such things are not a concern. The meeting on June 17th will resolve any remaining barriers to our success.
Ain't getting anything else with that train in the way. Let's move.
At one point in time, the CIA had interrogation rooms like this all over the world. All of them was geared toward logical manipulation. God knows the kind of shit that went down back then.
It's legitimately impressive when Harper pushes the TV like they're real-life interactable objects. The car scene is really cool, and not only because both the drone and the car feels awesome to use, you also get to choose which of them you want to control during the escape. One interesting side tangent I wanted to mention is that during the escape scene you can either drive straight into the fire being spewed out of a pipe,
Flames, watch out! No! Fuck!
or you can maneuver around it. This will change Harper's physical appearance for the rest of the game if you decide to drive into the fire and burn his face.
So this is how the 1% live.
You know, if this wasn't an op, I believe I'd give myself a little hot chick action here.
You're forgetting Pakistan? Your face don't look too good, Harper.
Hey, it's not the face. It's the body they're gonna be after. You know, if this wasn't an op, I believe I'd give myself a little hot chick action here. China would pay billions to get their hands on this drone.
Buen fortuna de Falco.
Good karma.
The cyber weapon.
Wait, there. Right there. You see that? Cross-reference image with active U.S. corporate logos.
No matches.
Cross-reference worldwide.
Wait a minute. It's Colossus. Karma weapons on a floating city.
That's how they got so close to the mainland. Salazar, prep a covert response team ready to go in 60 minutes. Inform Admiral Briggs.
The advertisements on the Colossus are scary accurate to the type of technology that we have access to nowadays.
Do a whole lot of the Colossus.
What is this?
It's an automated system. It's triggered by your biometric ID.
We're all going to hell, man.
Hey, what do you figure it costs to spend a weekend here?
More than you make in a year.
No shit.
No wonder Menendez rallies so much support.
Harper, sweep the floor. Salazar and I will proceed to the insertion point.
Copy that. you doing, beautiful?
Excuse you, creep.
Later on, after finding out that karma is the type of technology
it's a woman
that Harper stumbled into earlier, we head into the VIP club area where we get my favorite scene in all of Call of Duty history.
He's got hostages. Hold on. Salazar, take the shot.
No shot. Too many hostages.
5 seconds, Chloe! No!
No!
Open fire!
Kill that.
DeFalco has Karma. We're in pursuit. We need you to track their movements, Fareed. We can't let him get off the ship.
We then chase after DeFalco as he tries to make his escape with Karma. If we're able to reach him in time, we get to kill DeFalco and Karma joins our team. Her expertise is critical for slowing down and eventually fully preventing the spread of Solarium technology. After this, we learn what David went to talk to Woods about.
We're getting really close to Menendez. To get the upper hand, I've got to get some answers from the horse's mouth. I'm going to see Woods at the vault. Commander Mason for Sergeant Woods.
I got you, kid. You're okay. What took you so long? Started thinking you weren't gonna make it. What the fuck was I doing there?
We can see that David is clearly struggling with remembering what happened to him, but has pieced together now that Menendez was his kidnapper. Woods explains that the reason for them both being alive is that Menendez wants them both to suffer as much as they can for the death of his sister. Woods also states that David's goal of taking down Menendez is something that Menendez had long expected and waited for.
Remember that pendant? Disappeared. What do you think? Just sprouted legs and walked away? This guy, he knows every angle, every move you're gonna make. He's gonna take out 20 or 30 man people and... as if that's gonna bring her back. It's about his sister.
He killed my father. To get to you.
Isn't a clean shot with that guy.
Hey! What the fuck happened in Panama?
I was pretty sure we got him in Nicaragua. About a year later, he shows up in Panama with that piece of shit Noriega. That's the last straw for the CIA. The orders come down from George H.W. for a snatch and grab. So your dad and I, we go in. What a shit show.
We link up with McKnight and brief about Operation False Prophet, which features the three of them setting up a smear campaign in order to make sure that Noriega doesn't rise back to power.
Why the fuck aren't we killing this guy? Huh? For all this shit he pulled in Nicaragua?
Well, higher-ups are sick of his scheming, but they want him alive.
This shit don't sound right.
Okay. Manuel Noriega, hereforth known as Objective False Prophet. It's a standard grab and smear operation. Destroys public reputation and minimize the chance of any uprisings in his name. The invasion will draw attention away as we go in with Navy SEALs.
Well, then we're all set.
Yep. Come on, I'll walk you guys out.
Thanks for the beer, McKnight.
Yeah. I took the liberty of looking over some of your old case files. All that shit with the numbers. You really get brainwashed by the Soviets?
And they gave it their best shot.
Cutting back to Woods in the present moment, we can hear him reflecting on having an unexplainable bad feeling about Hudson leading the communications for the mission. However, Woods couldn't think why this feeling had occurred to him at the time. Many times throughout the mission, Hudson seems to be missing from comms.
10 seconds out. Hudson, do you copy? No response.
However, Woods and Alex continue on.
Just felt off, even on the way in. I felt it. You know, it was gnawing at me. I just didn't look at it.
When we find Noriega, Hudson lets us know that we are not to smother Noriega's reputation, but rather escort him in order to do a prisoner swap for someone more important.
It's Mason.
Go ahead, Mason.
False Prophet secure. Moving to extract.
No, negative. Stand by for new tasking. Objective False Prophet has intel on a priority Nexus target. Escort him as PC to alternate location for prisoner exchange. More to follow.
Precious cargo my ass.
Nexus target? Who's more important than this asshole?
Yeah, I don't like it either, but let's just get this done. We're burning too much time.
Even has people in the CIA.
Fucking Kravchenko. Remember what he said in Afghanistan?
There's something else going on here, Woods.
Noriega seemed to already be aware of this when Woods and Alex captured him.
Hey, what are you doing?
Sealing your reputation.
This is not a deal. Call your boss.
Fucking Hudson gets on the radio. Says that Noriega is not the mission. It's a handoff. He's a prisoner swap. And right fucking then I should have known. Right then and there. I should have known right then and there. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? The fuck?
Just take it easy, man. Just take it easy.
Fucking Hudson.
I should have smoked him in Nam.
Noriega manages to escape while Woods is fighting off a combatant with a machete. Later, when we catch Noriega again, Woods and Alex give him a real pulping.
From this point on, you don't even fucking breathe! Unless we say it's okay.
Go to hell.
Hell, we've already been.
We deliver Noriega back to our men, and Alex asks Hudson who Nexus target is. Hudson says that Alex has to trust him.
You have to trust me, Mason. You have to.
Woods in the present day states,
I may have questioned orders, but I never questioned motives. You take care of your unit, you get you guys home safe.
Roger that, Frick.
That's not how it is.
Chain of command's fucked. I'm a soldier. I take orders, I get shit done.
Woods, your position.
They're moving to the roof of the south building. Fucking comms!
This way! Everything is ready!
We then see Noriega shoot one of his own men who has prepared a sniper rifle in advance in order to kill target Nexus. Noriega says that this is so no one knows that he betrayed him. Now who is him, you might ask?
It's him, Woods. Nexus target is Raul Menendez.
You should have told us, Hudson. You should have told us.
We are ready. Bring him out.
Bring the son of a bitch out.
Confirm visual.
Even has people in the CIA.
Now the story perfectly leads the player into thinking that this is a clear shot and that shooting the Nexus target is our intended goal. But in order to unlock the perfect ending, we must give in to Woods' bad feeling about the mission and only injure the person by shooting them in the leg. For Nexus target is not actually Menendez. It's...
No! Mason!
Fool.
Now for this next cutscene, I want to show it in full, because in my opinion it's the greatest story segment in any first-person shooter game ever, and is the reason why I've decided to go much further into depth about this game than the others before it.
You bastard! Fuck!
Menendez! Your best friend, Alex Mason, is dead. By your own hand. Do you understand why?
He was gonna kill David.
Because you must suffer, as I have suffered. Now one more must die. You, Woods, or David. Make a decision now, or in 10 seconds you're all dead.
Woods, I can't. I have 2 kids. They... Fuck! Okay, me! Do it! Do it!
Your life will be consumed by absolute loss. Then and only then will you understand what you have done to me. I would not kill you, boy. Not like Woods. You will suffer with me. And then one day, you will see this pendant again. And you will remember everything you saw and felt tonight. You will remember all the years of anger and pain. And when you do, David, please, come to me.
Dad. No! Dad!
Just within the span of a few minutes, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 perfectly connects all of the missing pieces. Why Woods is in a wheelchair, why David was having trouble remembering what happened that night, why Woods took care of David after his father went missing, why Woods seems so anxious when talking about what happened that night, why Woods has such a strong hatred of Menendez, and the performances are beautiful and haunting and intense, especially the vitriolic hatred clearly displayed in Woods' voice when he sees Menendez.
Menendez!
This single-handedly sets us up for the rest of the story of Black Ops 2 and easily places Black Ops 2 in the upper echelon of stories that have been told through any game ever. After an emotionally overwhelming mission, we are taken to present day where David talks to Karma and manages to discover that Menendez is planning on doing a massive attack on the US and China. Admiral Briggs says that they have to try to take down Menendez in Yemen and that Farid should be able to help since Farid is an insider who is very close with Menendez. We then play as Farid, who talks to Menendez, and Menendez gives a haunting performance about his suspicion of a traitor among his men.
Just stay cool. We'll get you through this. We're almost ready. We are ready.
Yes.
The Americans are coming, Farid. There's a traitor in our midst.
But how? Who?
It matters not. I am one step ahead of him.
Farid now seems to be fully convinced that Menendez knows about Farid being an insider.
As soon as the shooting started, Menendez knows. I'm sure of it.
You can't be sure of that. I mean, if you knew, you'd be dead already.
He told me to meet him at the Citadel.
We can't give him a chance to dig in. Move through the city and re-establish contact. Farid, head south through the market. Good luck.
Also, holy shit, the Scorpion Evo sounds good in this game. And this level has some of the best music in the entire game.
We're at the world famous Abbey Road Studios in London, England. Really having the musical time of our lives, recording the score to Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Menendez. We must get you to safety. We have lost too many men.
Victory is not measured by losses.
When we catch up with Menendez, he shoots down Harper's drone, and the game gives you a decision: either kill Harper or kill Menendez. Killing Menendez does nothing, and basically just kills Farid and gives him a short rant about how worthless he is.
You betrayed us, Farid. And for what?
You are a worthless bitch-ass nigga.
Harper! Harper, do you copy? Damn it! Something's wrong! Kraken, linebacker 2. Engaging enemy...
If you decide to kill Harper, a nearby drone explodes, causing everyone to flee while Farid is passed out. After that, David and Salazar comes and saves Farid and forgives him for killing Harper, since in David's eyes, he had no choice.
Harper's dead.
You had no choice.
Menendez is heading for the Citadel overlooking the town.
Salazar, arrange for medevac extraction back to the Obama.
Let's go.
After fighting through waves of Menendez's men, we finally find him in a VTOL as we capture him.
Menendez! Secure him!
Menendez seems to be weirdly thankful for this.
Thank you, David. Help me seek a newer world.
President Bosworth sends her regards.
For those souls who have toiled and wrought and thought with me, some work of noble note may yet be done.
In the next mission, we get to interrogate Menendez, who seems to only want to communicate with David.
It was taken from me. Do you know what that feels like yet? An American torched the warehouse. For insurance money, $11,000. That was the value they placed on her life. She was the reason for me to live. What about you, David? What drives you? Is it me? Pues, tu papá está muerto. Your father is dead, and his people finished.
Yeah, go ahead, Admiral Briggs.
We have a situation. We're tracking a passenger jet entering the Obama's airspace. Wait, what is that? Are those birds?
I meet Endo on Nicolas unto a savage race.
We're
cross the camera feed to the interrogation room. Secure Menendez. Meet me on the bridge.
If he so much as moves an inch, you put a bullet in his brain. You got me? The Obama is under attack. Ensure no one leaves this room.
You know I will not kill you, David. But if you do not drop your gun, I will kill your friend. You've got 5 seconds to decide.
How did you even...
Put them on. Turn around.
After being knocked out by Menendez, we wake up while all hell is breaking loose. Admiral Briggs informs us that all of their security defenses have been disabled and that they're unsure about how this could have happened. It seems that Menendez has somehow managed to turn all the security systems, including things like auto turrets, to target the US Army on ship. This level probably features some of the most fun and engaging shooting action throughout the game. It very well balances CQB with more long-range engagements, along with peaking and interesting room layouts. We're able to get to a server room in the ship and get the camera systems up and running, although communications between David and Briggs is severed and Briggs is trying to reset their security defenses. Menendez is right outside the main control room where Briggs is, and if Briggs decides to reset the security defenses, Menendez will be able to come inside. With no other choice, David tries to reach the main control room in order to warn Briggs via climbing into the vents. We here get to see Menendez's perspective during this.
Admiral Briggs.
It's here that we find out that the worm was in fact Salazar, which to be honest was kind of predictable. Throughout the game he is our main source of Menendez's ideology, and particularly shows us sympathy when talking about Menendez's actions.
Tu primera Guerra Fría. As a boy, he witnessed the country's rape and murder his people. In 1972, there was a colossal earthquake. His family lost everything. A year later, the only thing he ever loved, his sister Josefina, was crippled in a fire. Raúl and his father started over, sold drugs for easy money. They became rich, powerful legends of Managua.
And this would also explain how Menendez was able to get the gun from Salazar so easily, which in reality makes no sense. Menendez also throughout the game seems to have superhuman abilities, for example when spying on him.
Of course. Not only am I aware of the infiltration, I engineered it.
And in that mission, there's only 3 people that know about David and Harper's position, that being David, Harper, and Salazar. It also explains how Salazar was left unscathed during Menendez's escape.
Alright, leg, teach me how to run fast.
We now get a choice to either injure or kill Briggs. Looking into the different options, the only real difference is that if you decide to kill Briggs, the Obama, yes, that's its actual name, will not be saved. But if you wound him like I did, then Briggs is eventually able to reactivate the security defenses. The best choice here is to wait until the QuickTime event expires, so instead of shooting Briggs, Salazar just lightly taps him unconscious. However, Briggs' animation later on will be the same if you decide to shoot him in the leg or just let Salazar knock him out.
Compromise Salazar.
Get him to sick bay.
Section, security team Epsilon. We have Salazar secure.
Betrayed us all, Salazar!
Today is a difficult day, Section. Tomorrow, we all win.
Shut your stupid.
David is now strapped with the task of escorting the president to a safe place, and this mission changes things up and gives us combat that stands in contrast to the mission previously, where we have more long-range and precise combat instead of the close-quarter combat of the previous mission. This mission probably features the greatest escalation in action in all of Call of Duty. We go from ground combat to shooting missiles from a Humvee that is slowly slipping off the highway, to sniping with a high-power energy rifle that can penetrate through walls with an X-ray scope, to ramming through enemy vehicles with Anderson flying their jet right above our heads, to sending drones that shoot missiles, to whole skyscrapers collapsing, to flying Anderson's jet, which by the way is so utterly satisfying to use with a controller that it never gets old, to jumping out of that same jet as it's exploding and parachuting down. By the time the mission is over and that creeping menu song starts playing, you realize just how entrancing Black Ops 2 really can be to play. The next mission is the ultimate conclusion to the fantastic story of Black Ops 2. The mission starts off with the president receiving a briefing about how Menendez was able to capture all of the military's infrastructure. We then see that the military has been able to track the source of the attack as being in Haiti. This is where the mission will be taking place. After skydiving from an exploding plane, we land at Menendez's base in Haiti and start our attack. After fighting through waves of enemies, we get to the main command center of the facility.
My console crashed. What do you got? Can you get in?
Holy shit. Raul Menendez is transmitting a live webcast. He's on right now.
It's sinful. And we all pay for it. Los Angeles was the flagship of their absurd materialism. So I destroyed it.
I'm locked out. Can you hack into the system?
They thought I wanted to kill the president.
We're fucked.
Doña Presidente, I could have buried you 1,000,000 times over. No. I wanted you to see it. To feel what it's like.
The drones are being controlled from Haiti. What? Sir, there's nothing more we can do.
Today,
we cannot regain access to the drones.
2 billion people exist in abject misery, tyrannized by war.
He's ready to strike New York. Gonna stop it.
However, we're not able to disable it, so instead of trying to disable Celerium, we go for the main man himself. Shortly after escaping from the main control room, everything starts to go haywire, and the whole facility starts to crumble due to a rigged explosion. This is also what causes us to eventually find Menendez's location. During our escape, the ground falls beneath us and uncovers the man himself.
I will see you 1 year from now. Study Ulysses. Are you ready?
No. He's just a sad old man talking to himself. Let him talk.
After this, we finally get to see the fruits of our labor by unlocking the ultimate ending.
Do not enter. I swear to God, I will shove this wheelchair right up your ass.
Hey, Woods. You look like hammered shit.
You stay right there. Mason, I shot you.
Turns out you're a lousy shot.
My ass. Where the fuck you been for 30 years?
Colonel Kurtz. Celerium worm attacking the electrical grid. Power stations, water distribution. It's every state. Oh wait, it's all over the world.
Get me the president.
Chill out, jerk off, I got it.
you're famous now for saving the world. It's very rare that we have a celebrity that has actually done something. You're not into a reality show, are you?
Oh, you got it, Jimmy.
Okay. So, I mean, tell me what this is like. It must be a great day to be you.
Yeah. And it's a bad day to be Raul Menendez.
David Mason for Sergeant Woods.
Another Mason?
Oh, fuck. Secure the building.
Hey, kid.
Jesus,
Come on.
Frank.
Introduce you to somebody. Al, this is Dave. Dave.
How you doing?
This is your dad.
What the fuck?
Oh, you got a couple of fucking broads. Work this shit out on your own. Need some smokes. Nurse, back shit! Where's my smokes?
You still got that scar? You made me proud that day. I fell. Yeah. But you got back up.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is what happens when all parties involved with making an FPS shooter has perfected their own crafts respectively, while also working together in order to become greater than the sum of its parts. When trying to write a summary on this game based on my initial playthrough, I could simply not find the words to fully describe how much this game truly means to not just me, but the FPS genre and gaming as a whole. For what is Black Ops 2 really? A game that took the deep and thought-provoking story of the first one and made it all the more bombastic and engaging? Is it a game that perfectly executes the fast action combat of what the genre would eventually become, with a slow-paced and precise combat of what the genre used to be? Is it the fact that the game learned how to perfectly execute comedy in a deeply disturbed and high-stakes story? Is it that the weapons roster is so uniquely identifiable from all other FPS games? Is it the dynamic and constantly evolving combat of each of the campaign levels? Is it the moral of the story being to always balance trust along with your intuitions and instincts, and that there will always be monsters on each side of the war, and that it only ends when one person decides to be the bigger person? Or is it that the game just has a really killer rave shooting scene along with a perfect main menu music track? To this day, I'm still not 100% sure what makes this game just work so well, but I'm sure that when I'm able to fully put it into words, the reasons listed above would all be part of that very long list. S+ here. Yeah, that's right, another fucking tier. I don't care, this game is that good.
believe me that I am, that every ounce of me, that every hair on my body is Raul Menendez. I live and breathe this man. I've invested a lot into this man, and I hope that the players will enjoy the ride. Because I hope and pray that they don't feel the pain that I've felt, but that they empathize with it.